something.
That's
I
it.
mean, you already waste your time with us on the.
That's right.
Please.
This is going to
Tuesday.
be one of my favorite reveals ever. Because let me put this on the big
Oh,
screen
man,
so
yeah,
you can
wait.
see.
You know, it's trippy being in the room because I'm
Yeah.
used to watching it on a computer.
Well, yeah.
Being
You
in the
form
room.
like a relationship to it as like an audience
Look
member.
at
in a
this.
way.
Look at this.
This is great. I can't wait till it just comes down.
Hilarious.
Boom.
Hilarious.
This is the
Here
here we go. Here
the
we go. Here
Pee
we
Wee
go.
Herman
This
picture.
is the moment right here. Bam! There
Ta-da.
it is.
It's actually
It's real.
Juan.
It's real. It's actually Juan.
It's me. It's me. Oh my goodness.
It's real.
Yep,
Juan is here.
I'm here.
Oh
I'm
my
here.
God! And
After
speaking of
all
which, I got to
these
put
months.
that banner on there. Here we
After
go.
all
Juan
these
is
months.
here.
After all these months.
Oh my God!
Yep.
All right. Well, we're live.
We got
We're-
some stuff to talk
we're
about.
live.
we got some things to talk about.
Yes, we do.
Let's,
We got a few
let's
things.
get this.
Yeah.
Let's get this intro tape cooking here because, of course, that always takes
Yeah, let's
20 minutes.
Let's make
to
sure we
start
soak
playing.
up all the
So
good content.
this is what this is what you're always looking
Yes.
at. Now I see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This records the show that people listen to afterwards, and then this is for what's going on right now.
Now.
I
Yeah,
stare
yeah.
directly into this
Yeah.
part just
Right.
so my eyes get more tired,
Yeah,
and then when
full
I
of
look at Matt,
dots.
it's just like a bunch of dots.
Just a bunch. It's like I'm all
Yeah.
pixelated.
That's right.
Yep.
That's what we're looking for. We want it to be pixelated. It's
Yeah.
still.
I'm in the
Still
lab.
cooking. That's right. Exactly right. Yeah.
Mhm.
One of these days we're going to get the right chemicals, but today's not that day.
Been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Yay! And then, wait. What does that do? Did that blow your mind? That just happened. This corner weighing in at 180 pounds. Darkness, everybody!
You've got a dirty, whorish mouth.
A fucking amateur. Am I wrong? No. Am I wrong? Yeah.
Okay, then.
Hail to the king, baby.
Oh, fuck it, dude. Let's go, Bull.
You tell anyone about this, I'll fucking kill you. I'm kidding. We'll come back by tonight. Okay.
Do another episode of the Kickstart with Matt.
And Matt,
And Don Juan DeMarco.
Oh my
Don
God,
Juan.
he's here! He's here,
He's
everybody!
made
Juan is here!
Kick
Juan-
down my heart. I've always wanted to say that. Motley Crue.
Today's the day.
Yeah.
Today is the day.
Yeah.
This is a very, very happy and special episode. Not only because Juan is finally here, but it's also Juan's birthday, everybody.
happy
Oh
birthday
my God, this
to,
is it.
to the one and only.
The one and only. And Juan, just to commemorate everything, we got a little traditional thing there for you. There's your own little melty bead. I still haven't figured out what the fuck these things are called, but it's at number one. There you go.
I'm about to cry.
But he's an actor, so he can turn it on and off.
So don't take it
It's
personally.
It's for your benefit only.
No, friggin' crazy.
That's because we got the camera turned on.
Hilarious.
Cut.
Print, that's a wrap.
That's right.
Oh man, that's
you,
it.
guys.
Oh hell yeah, man.
Number
That's-
one.
Oh, that's
Number
it. You
one.
got it. You got it all the
Yes.
way. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Mhm.
Another day.
Hot July, hot in July.
That's right.
Another toasty day.
Yes.
Trying to keep from melting while we're just bringing you.
You didn't
nothing
even need
but,
to use a heat
nothing
gun for
but-
that. For that.
No,
melted
I
bead
just
thing.
sat it out in the window and
Mhm.
it was good. It melted right on down. Yeah, it was a powerful solar storm came through
I
just in
will
time.
cherish this. I was forever.
It knocked out
And ever.
satellites.
I will.
There we go.
I will. Number one.
Number
That's
one.
right.
That's it. That's
You
it.
can tell Juan's an actor because he's so convincing with that.
No, I'm serious. I'm serious.
That's the challenge now. Because we don't believe anything that you say.
Serious? You know, yeah. Any. You know, this I appreciate it because my birthday is always low key,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
don't do much.
Sure.
But to get out and to hang out with you guys is awesome.
Yeah,
Been
man.
watching the show for a while.
Oh my
now.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to finally be on it is
Mhm.
is awesome. It's excellent.
Yeah, we
It
love
is.
having you be a part of
Yes.
it virtually
Yep.
and actually physically. Now
Yep.
we can have your voice be heard.
Exactly.
That's it.
And all your
right.
great commentary that people, if they're not
Oh
reading
my
the
God.
chat, now they can
Yes.
hear it in
It's gr-
person.
and in real time. We
In
don't
real
have to
time.
wait for the
No
delay.
delay,
You know,
just
it's,
bam.
there's nothing
Exactly.
between us now.
It's the
Nothing.
it's
Nothing.
the
That's what we're
Juan
looking
show.
for. We want it.
Starring role. I know it's a
Mhm.
small part, but that's one that you know.
Well, I know we don't want to blow our own horn or anything like that, but you finally made it one.
Finally
that's
made
right.
it.
You
Finally
made
made it. This won't end up on the cutting room floor. This will make the final cut.
You hear that, John
Yes.
Bernthal, you motherfucker?
Yes. You know.
Take a back seat
Yes.
for once.
That's
We got-
so
that's
big,
right.
though,
We got
but,
all the
you know.
weird
This
ones
is a
we
better
need.
show. I'm gonna tell you something. This is a better show than Real Ones.
Yeah.
You don't want John Bernthal asking you to be on Real
So
Ones.
I just realized that
'Cause
was
he's
the
not a
name
real
of
one.
his podcast.
Yeah.
It came up
Yeah.
on my Spotify
Oh, you
suggestions.
did? I
Yeah.
didn't know
Yeah.
he had a podcast.
I just thought you were throwing that shit around. When I realized that was the name of his show, and that's what you've been referencing all this time, I was
Had no
furious. I was furious
I'm
because
gonna have to look it up.
yeah, it's terrible. What kind of a name is that for?
It's
for
a
show?
pretentious name. It's
It
because
is,
he's
it is.
it's
It
for a
fits his
pretentious person.
personality.
A
Yeah.
person who only pretends and isn't actually genuine. That's the thing
Mm.
with John Bernthal. When I met him,
Mm.
I was like, that's a guy who wants to just ingratiate himself with whoever is in his
Mhm.
company
Mhm.
and will turn this and that up and
He's a
down.
chameleon.
Yeah. And from somebody who used to do that growing up. Like I've, this show
Mhm.
actually has given me the opportunity to like just have an outlet to turn up this real stupid version of myself.
Well,
That
yeah.
way, everywhere else in the world, I can just go,
Yeah,
you get down a little
Turn
bit.
it down. Yeah, you get it
Yeah.
all
It's
out.
not like
It's like
you know.
Chris. You got to get the blood drained every
Right.
once in a while.
bloodlet.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am really Chris. He just had extensive plastic surgery. He had extensive plastic surgery.
Juan is another
You
dimension,
know,
Chris.
I am really Chris. Yes. He just, that's the big reveal. Okay. I am not really Juan. Juan is still home. This is really Chris.
Juan's in the chat still. That's why.
Yeah,
that's why it's
exactly.
confusing.
Exactly. Yep.
It's
That's it. Oh my God! It's finally we've realized
this is just
this
what Chris
ultimate
looks
form.
like in another dimension,
Oh,
Absolutely.
and what he
On
looks
Earth
and sounds
too.
like.
On Earth too.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which
this is
it's
great.
funny because kind of you got the beard and the glasses, so
Yeah,
it
that's
kinda
right.
be- and it's your
Yeah.
shirt is slightly of a
Chris-like.
Chris
It's
style.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
very
it's in the
Chris-like.
it's in the vein.
It's got that
Uh-huh.
visually like kind of stimulating
Okay,
look to
the
it.
okay.
Yeah.
But I don't believe it yet because you haven't made a joke that just has fallen all the
Well,
way
but see,
flat.
that's the whole point of this incarnation of him. Yeah, in
It's
this
the better-
dimension,
it's
this
the
is the
improved.
ultimate, dimension.
Yeah.
I've studied Juan, and I know how he communicates.
This
so-
is actually just an audition for Chris to play
That's
you
right,
in
that's
your
right.
biopic.
Chris
Yes.
won't come on the show anymore because he's too busy doing whatever he's doing. So we had to pull somebody else.
Yeah.
We love you, Chris, the newly engaged Chris.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
have-
right. Yeah,
and
yeah, that's right. I don't think we
congratulations to
talked
them.
about that on
Yeah,
the
that's
show
right.
yet, Chris. Someone has decided to chain themselves to Chris and travel through all these dimensions. For
Why we
whatever-
don't- why and for what?
For what is exactly the question? We don't
To
understand.
chaperone him.
Yeah, I guess
Make
that
sure he
really
doesn't get
is.
too lost
Yeah,
out there in space and time.
Yeah, it's more taking care of things, I guess, than it is somebody like a field medic kind
That's
of
right.
thing.
When he loses a leg to the void.
That's what he's looking for.
She gets so back on.
Oh yeah, gotta do it, gotta do it.
Mhm.
Well, we got the rest of the staff is here. Allison's here, Deirdre's here,
Yeah.
Nice.
so we're good. We're
Allison,
everybody's here.
Deirdre,
Everybody's
hey.
here. There we go. That's it. You
Yes.
get it verbally this time.
Juan's
This is
here
Yep.
and you're
fantastic. That's
Mhm.
right. This is
not. You have to just listen.
yeah. Well, I mean, and I was half tempted to be like, all right, why don't you guys once we start the stream, just come on over, and then we'll just have the staff meeting while we're all here. But
We
no.
should have. I
They
wonder.
could have partaken in the.
Yeah, I
liquid
mean, we got the
death.
liquid
Yeah,
death
there's like a
going on.
banquet of liquid death
Yeah.
here right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
I mean, and technically, we do have enough microphones.
Is there a way we could all get on a Skype call and have people who want to interrupt us mute us and say whatever garbage they want to say and then
Yeah.
come at? Because that would be like
We can make it.
that would be like there's a guy who made a bunch of money by making people people would pay
Mhm.
like $5 or whatever
Right.
to annoy him or to bug him or wake him up early
Mhm.
or just fuck with him,
What?
and he just allowed people to just interrupt his
This
life.
is something that actually happened.
Yeah, this is something. This guy made a bunch of money doing
Hmm.
this.
Well, I mean, I guess that's one way to be able to pay your bills. But
That's the inspiration
and
I'm going
OnlyFans.
for.
yeah,
that's right.
That's right. Yeah,
OnlyFans.
you just got
That
to.
and
Sometimes it's an
yeah.
A/B sort of thing.
Yeah.
Which
I
one
want
are
to
we
start
going to pick?
Only Vans.
Only Vans.
It's just Vans various
mean, like-
levels of windows and tints.
No, you're not even in it. It's just whatever vans you
Yeah,
run
it's just
across.
vans.
Whatever
yeah,
van.
whatever you find.
Mhm.
You just
Well,
take pictures of them.
You gotta it's,
And then they
it's
show the
all about-
inside if you pay.
Yeah,
Show me what's in there.
that's right.
Is it
yeah.
really candy?
That's when you
There are
spread the
levels,
doors open. Yeah,
tiers.
yeah, yeah. You
That's
have to. Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to make them
Is
want.
this a plumber or is this a
Yeah, we don't know.
serial
know.
killer?
If the picture's too close, we have to zoom out a little more and take a look
Yep.
inside, see if there's some fittings in there. You never know what you're gonna find.
Mm.
But
We can do an OnlyFans. We don't have to make it like,
Bow, shaka,
nude
wow,
or
wow.
whatever.
yeah, right.
It doesn't have to be that. We can just like make people pay to
Yeah.
watch us just sit around and do nothing.
And do nothing.
Yeah, well, I mean,
You know?
You'd be surprised. A lot of
Oh,
people
yeah.
have so many fetishes and kinks and things
Oh,
that
yeah.
they like. Weird stuff
Sure.
that you would
Yeah.
never even imagine. But
Mhm.
people, would pay decent money to,
That's-
Yeah,
that's
it's
it.
crazy.
that's
It-
true.
it
Why
really
don't
There's
you
a
paint
market
room
for
or
it.
something?
a little bit of everything.
That's what it is. You're
Yeah.
exactly right.
That's that
Juan.
was
That's
that
it.
rule 52 or something like that in the
What?
internet rule where like Deirdre probably knows, but
Mhm.
there's like an internet rule
Deirdre?
where if you can think of it,
Yep.
there is like a sexual version of it out there.
I'm
Wait a minute.
sure.
What?
I'm
Yeah.
sure.
I mean,
I'm sure.
I don't know what the rule number is, but
yeah, but how do you find it? Reddit? Is that how, I guess?
yeah,
Reddit.
Reddit.
Reddit
Gotta
is usually the place to go if you're trying to figure out what the term is for this
If
thing
You're trying
that
to
you're
figure
trying to
out
figure out.
what tantalizes you.
Yeah,
go to
you got
Reddit
it.
and just search random
So,
stuff.
rule
See-
34.
See what moves the
Deirdre
needle.
says it's rule
Rule
34.
34. Thank you,
Rule
Deirdre.
there you
Thank
go.
Wow.
That's
Okay,
it.
she was right on it too.
That's it. Man,
Yep.
that's it.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, and that's good.
And
I
under
know-
Rule 34, there already is weird like Matt like fanfic porn or something.
it's got to
I'm
be out
writing
there
it all.
because
What?
that's right. Yeah, right. Can we link that to our Patreon
Yeah.
page? We might get a little some more people here.
Exactly.
Yeah, we
It's all
figured
just
it all
on my
out.
hard drive. It's not out.
That's
Talk
right,
about
that's right.
subscribers.
Haven't had the
Yeah.
nerve to publish it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Subscribers, they
And
would, yeah.
In my fanfic, we're actually funny. That's the biggest leap.
That's the biggest thing that's different. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, all the rest of it is plausible, but that's
Yeah.
that is the
That's where the
complete fantasy.
that's where the suspension of disbelief just breaks apart.
Yeah, well,
It's
it's
like
got
how
to
we
happen
break the
somewhere.
fourth wall.
It's got to happen
Mhm.
somewhere.
Mhm.
Well, so over the weekend, Friday and Saturday, technically
Yeah.
part of the weekend, I
Yeah.
guess early weekend.
Mhm.
Matt and I, we went finally to VHS Fest 7.
Yeah,
Nice.
we got
Nice.
everybody there this time.
What a beautiful, beautiful endeavor that was. We got up there, no problems. We were worried
Yeah.
about the rain and stuff.
Mhm,
It was kind of
mhm.
cloudy on Friday, but
Right.
everything held out all weekend, the whole time.
Yeah.
We didn't have any
Yeah.
rain at all, quite opposed to
It was nice.
the first time we went.
Nothing wet. It had rained before we got there. I
Yeah.
guess it's to some extent.
But
so
that's
it's
why it
kinda
was so
puddly.
hot, probably.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was
Rain
fucking
brought the heat.
muggy. It was
Yeah,
humid
especially
as
the
fuck.
second day.
We were all
Mm.
sticky as hell.
Mhm.
Holy shit!
Mhm.
I don't even know why I bothered taking a shower in the morning. 'Cause
No.
I just got
You know,
No
just trying
point.
to wipe the filth from the day off
Yep.
before off.
It's mainly
Mhm.
about the dust. The
Mhm.
dust is all you're
Yeah.
going to get
Yeah,
off.
dude.
Yeah,
I'm still like coughing from like all the like the smoke and the dust in the air and like
Yeah.
just that and the humidity and stuff.
Yep.
So
so let me demonstrate for you. Excuse me. Yeah.
but yeah, no, it was great though. Yeah, we all got a little touch of it.
That's right. It's sympathy dust.
That's right.
Sympathy-
Sympathy dust.
yeah. But it was good. We had
We got to see everybody.
got to see
Well,
everybody. Fun.
most
just
of the
about,
ones who were
yeah,
able to
just
come.
about. Yeah.
We
Nice.
saw Kay. We
Right.
saw Ace
We saw
from the
Ace.
Gore Club podcast. Go listen
Oh,
to his
yeah.
podcast. We
Nice.
saw Ben,
Yep.
Sarah,
Yep.
and we saw Jazzy and Steph
On Saturday.
on Saturday.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Yes.
And Nandor. Don't forget about Nandor.
at the star of the show.
Nandor the Relentless made his appearance, and he
Mhm.
was pretty chill.
He was
now.
chill. I think he was just hot as
Once
hell.
it got hot, then he was
Yeah.
like,
Just-
"Don't touch me,"
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
how I get normally. I
Yeah.
get that way with everybody when I get. Once I start to get, if I'm overheated, don't
Yeah.
get near me.
Yeah.
Leave me alone. I need to really. I'm not looking to like Joe Rogan it or like
Mhm.
jump in a bucket of ice or anything like that.
Oh, you
but-
mean you're not looking to do animal impressions and talk about the brutality of nature?
No, no. The
That's
only
all-
thing
that seems to be
just-
the only thing he's
I run
interested
around
in.
like a gazelle. I have a special hat that I put on. It's got long curly horns.
Oh,
It's
That's
perfect.
like Bohemian Grove shit right
well, but the
there. You burn
only,
an effigy.
only while I'm hot.
Right,
Once
right.
I cool down, then
You
I'm
get
like
like
I'm back to
you,
my
get,
senses
you get on
now.
the edge of Alex Jones when
Yeah.
you get
Oh
overheated.
gosh.
Yeah, it gets a little rough sometimes. I gotta get crazy here, but
Or once the beads of sweat start trickling down my face, I know that it's hot.
That's
and,
it.
And, I love I don't like extremes anymore, especially now that I'm a little older.
Yeah.
I don't like extremes.
Yeah.
When it's too cold, miserable.
Right.
Too hot. But I think I would rather be hot, because when you're cold, the cold goes right through your bones.
I'm with you,
and it's
Juan,
harder to
all the
warm
way.
up.
It is
than
very
it is to
difficult.
cool
All
down.
the way.
That's true.
And
Especially like in the modern world.
Yeah, oh my
you can
God.
always go to a cooler place and kind of bring it down.
Mhm.
I'd say if I was out in the elements,
Mhm.
yeah, I probably agree with you, Juan. Some people
Mhm.
say you can only take so many layers off before like
Right.
you're just stuck with it.
Yep.
But I'd say up here where we are in the Northeast,
Mhm.
I'll take a summer over a winter.
Yep.
These winters fucking suck sometimes.
Get out.
But if we're down south, we're like
Yes.
past, South Carolina or whatever. No,
Yeah,
fuck that summer.
Right.
Dude,
Yeah.
those summers are
Yeah,
so
brutal.
fucking
I can imagine.
hot,
Mhm.
man.
I can imagine.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Nope.
No,
Yeah.
thank
Nope.
you. Yeah.
But once again, you can always go to
Mhm.
some air conditioning and escape it.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
with,
but
like,
at the same time, I mean, there's nothing that I love more like stepping into a warm place after I've been really cold.
Mhm.
That's always rough because it just got to get
Mhm.
that chill out
yeah,
of your bones.
it burns your
But-
skin and your
But
nerves.
stepping into air conditioning after you've been in the heat, especially like because all the air conditioning pulls all the humidity out of
Yep.
the air,
Mhm.
like that shift is
Mhm.
glorious.
Instant.
It's glorious.
Yep.
But and for that reason, I think that's
Well,
that's
it feels
where I sit
great
too,
in
yeah.
here. Like when
I
we
agree.
stepped in here,
Yeah.
it's just like it's humid outside.
Yeah.
So that, and it could be 85, 90 degrees, but the humidity is what kills you.
Makes
Yeah.
such a difference.
Oh,
It does.
The
It
consensus
really
is
does.
in.
That's
If
it.
you think otherwise, you're wrong.
That's right.
It's good.
Right.
It's heat that we can deal with, not cold.
That's right.
If you prefer cold,
If you change it,
you just need to think about it
that's
longer.
right. It just means you're wrong. I
Yeah,
mean,
you're
it's
wrong.
okay. You're young.
It's
You'll
all right.
figure it
Yeah, you
out.
change
You'll,
it.
Yeah.
you'll find your way.
Yep.
You'll find your way.
There's a reason why all the people in wheelchairs have little blankets across their lap. It's because they're all getting real cold. They want to warm up.
I thought it was because they're all telekinetic.
No,
like,
well that too. Yeah. That's where
Telepathic.
they hide the computer so they can read your thoughts.
they lose
but,
all their hair, and
yeah.
then they can enter your
Mhm.
mind
That's all
and give
you
you
need.
different.
That's all
Give
you
you
need. Speaking
all
of
those
that,
intrusive
did
thoughts.
you see Wolverine?
I saw the picture. What do you think the show is all about?
Did you see the picture of Hugh Jackman?
Yeah,
in
did you
the,
see that one?
No.
Hugh
yeah,
Jackman in
him.
the,
He's
the
losing his hand?
costume.
so yeah.
Yeah.
So he's doing
might be.
Wolverine again
Oh yeah.
for Deadpool.
Oh my
Okay,
goodness.
so this will be
Ka-ching.
3, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's right.
yeah. All
Juan
three,
said it.
all three
Yep.
claws come
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Breaking the cash
and
register.
they're just full of just a whole cash register.
Just
Yep.
wads of hundreds
it.
on them.
That's it.
I just loved how they announced the whole thing because it was Ryan Reynolds sitting in what I assume is his living room,
Okay.
and there's a staircase behind him,
Uh-huh.
and Hugh Jackman just walks out of his kitchen, out of Ryan Reynolds' kitchen, walks by, and as he's walking up the stairs, he goes, "Hey, Hugh, you want to be Wolverine again?" And he points, like, pokes
Nice.
his head down. He's like, "Yeah, sure." And he's like, "All right." And then he walks up the rest of the stairs. And he's gone.
Nice.
Yeah. So, but yeah, they put a little teaser out of an image. I don't think it's a
Mhm.
video. I think it's just from
No, just a picture. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's him in the
Awesome.
suit that he wears in the comic books all the time.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
of course
a version of
everybody's
it.
going nuts.
It's yellow.
Yeah,
it's kind of
his-
got the
his-
blue pad. It's kind of like what you're used to if you're used to like
for
the
the
90s
X-Men
look.
stuff. Yeah.
Well,
So
which movie was Liev Schreiber Wolverine in? Wasn't he in Wolverine?
Oh, he's in the Wolverine movie, like
Okay,
the
but he
Origins
wasn't-
movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he plays his brother,
Okay.
Sabretooth.
Oh,
in that-
Saber.
Right, right,
That's
right.
right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, which I don't know the comics well enough. For shame, if Zach was here, he could tell
yeah,
us.
Zach could
But
tell
But
us,
I don't know
I'm
if
not sure
Sabretooth
either.
and Wolverine are canonically brothers,
Mm.
but I guess they
Right.
have a similar like power.
Well, whatever it is. I mean,
Mhm.
Whatever.
if what just happened? There we are.
There
We're
we go.
back. We're back.
Ha!
Just hit the
I
main.
thought
Hit the
you
main.
spilled
button.
a full glass of something
I
on
would,
the
I
on
would
the board.
immediately commit seppuku if
A
that
la
happened.
1980s, like quick, we got to stop the transmission of this news
Yeah,
station, and
we
somebody
got-
just
we-
pours cognac all
So,
over the
JD,
fucking
baby.
control
It's
board.
Juan's birthday, but Juan bought me a
Yes.
bottle of Jack Daniels here.
Yes.
So and he brought liquid death along.
Yes.
I don't know what's going on here, but it's
That's
it's
the
all,
kind of
it's all
guy
going
Juan
down.
is.
That's
He-
right.
On his own birthday,
Yeah.
he
Mhm.
gives others gifts.
And I've never had this before. It's the first time.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
really?
yeah, very
but
good.
Yeah,
It's
what do you
good.
think of
It's good. It's like an essence. Of
Yeah, that's
what
the
it
ticket.
is, like lemon and
Mhm.
mango.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You
Are
know,
you
it's
are
good.
you like
It's
much
good.
of a are you like a beer drinker at all?
No,
Okay.
not at all. Nope.
Because this,
Nope.
what I like about this particular like
Mhm.
sparkling water or whatever the hell,
Mhm.
is the carbonation's like very close to like a beer.
It is.
So I'm like, I
Yeah.
kind of get that same sense of it.
Mhm.
So like it's
Mhm.
almost like
Mhm.
like smoking candy cigarettes while you're
Right.
trying to quit.
Right.
It's
Exactly.
not as bad for
It's
you,
not as bad. It's just
but
like
it gives you the same kind of feeling.
right.
As bubblegum cigars, I love those.
Mm.
They,
Oh, gosh.
they sustain me.
Cheer 'em
in
up.
the
Taking me
Yeah.
way back.
That's right.
Yep. Mhm.
concession stands.
But we my brother, he drinks Blue Moon, and every once in a while I'll have a Blue Moon.
Mhm.
They're pretty good.
Yeah.
But mainly I'm wine. I
Sure,
drink
sure.
wine,
Yeah,
Okay,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. So, but yeah.
Yeah, Blue
the
Moon.
classic.
That was Matt's drink of choice before he went to Fat Tire.
Yeah.
Blue Moon.
Nice.
Yeah, I used to do that
Blue Moon was
everywhere.
good.
Yeah.
It's a little on like the weedier kind of
Yep.
side,
Yep.
like it's kind
Hoppy.
of, yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
Hoppy.
it just makes me feel a little bit more like full
Mhm.
than I guess some of the other ones do.
Right.
It's got that. It's almost got an
Mhm.
aftertaste that
Mhm.
doesn't sit as smooth as
Sure,
like a
sure.
Fat Tire.
And that's
does.
all about the Fat Tire.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's just it
And
was
you-
available, and so I just
Yeah.
drank a lot of it. Now I got a taste for it. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's like a
And you
vampire.
drink. what's-
I switched between Founders, which is
Mhm.
out of Michigan,
okay.
and Voodoo Ranger, which is in New Belgium.
Ah.
For the variety, Voodoo Ranger is what I go for because they have a
Okay.
beer called 1985
Okay.
that I love, but they only offer it in variety packs, and it's a
Oh,
seasonal thing.
Okay.
And so whenever summertime rolls around, I always get the variety pack.
Okay.
Of course, they've moved it out of the variety pack into a different variety pack that's
Oh.
even bigger, and
Oh,
you
wow.
get less of it. So
Oh.
luckily, I did find one that's similar, though comparable. So that's
Okay.
what I'm enjoying here.
okay.
And then the Founders is the everyday. In fact, it's called All Day IPA. That's the
Okay.
So it's I drink it
All
all
the
day.
time.
It's
It's
gets the
kind of
job done.
hoppy, but it's actually
got
smooth
like a-
enough
Mhm.
that even somebody who hates hops,
Yeah, yeah.
like
Mm.
I've gotten a taste for it just from going having it at
Band
band
practice,
practice
yeah.
a lot.
Mhm.
It'll be available, so I'll like grab one or two like over the
Mhm.
years, and now I'll drink it. If it's around anywhere.
Yeah, that's
So
it.
don't worry about that one. I'll
There you
smack
go.
the.
Oh, yeah,
I'll
no.
smack
All
the
the
shit
time.
out of
That's,
mine.
that's a beautiful thing about the mic being suspended by these little bungee cords that we can whack into the thing. It doesn't make it
Yeah.
big. Even when it's slap on the table and stuff like that, you barely
That's right.
barely care.
Take that,
So it's
senses of
there
the
you
audience.
go. That's right. You guys don't
Take
know
that,
what's
ears.
going on. Completely
Well,
oblivious.
Theater of the mind.
You know, I'm
It's all
here. I'm
new.
so
It's-
used to being in my living room now. I'm actually,
Yeah, you're
I
like
can
forced to
touch it.
interact with it
Yeah.
all. Like
yeah.
you know.
But this is the same thing. Like when I first met Jesse and Steph from Say Love Satan, right?
Mhm.
I was trying to like we were talking and like, oh, how are you? What do you like to do?
Right.
And they're having conversations with me, and I'm trying my best to
Mhm.
maintain this conversation.
Mhm.
But I was explaining to Steph the one time, I was like, you have to understand, it's like I have for the entire time I've known you,
Mhm.
I have lived in the closet of a room in your house and listened to you guys have conversations.
Mhm.
And now you've opened the doors and gone, hi.
Yeah.
And now you're talking to me.
Exactly.
I'm not used to this whole conversation thing. I'm just
Mhm.
used to listening.
listening.
Yeah. I'm
Yep.
just used to taking it all in
Mhm.
and sort of processing, chuckling and all that, saying my thing to
Yep.
nobody that's,
Right.
listening.
Right.
And now all of a sudden,
You're a spectator.
now all
you're,
of a sudden this matters.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's a different sort of
well, I'm no longer
shift.
a fly on the wall.
That's right,
I'm
that's
you know
right.
what's
in
going to
the
be real
room.
trippy when you go back and listen
And
to
what-
yourself
Yeah.
on the episode.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, there I am, and then
That
you can
is.
respond to yourself.
Oh, that's the
at
best part.
home.
I love shouting
I
at
yell-
myself.
oh,
When I
yeah.
listen back to the episodes, I shout at
Yeah.
myself when I can't remember something. I'm just shouting the answer like, you stupid idiot. This is what it is.
But in the moment,
In the moment,
you
it's
know-
not
you
there.
know,
Yeah,
you
there's
just
there's
you
so
know.
many other things
Yeah.
going on.
No, you just taking your notes.
No, he
Oh, no,
stopped taking notes a
Oh,
long
Matt told me-
time ago. I wish
He
he
said,
did.
"Stop
You just
taking
leave-
notes."
Just leave that.
Yeah,
I just
because
like-
because
I
what
don't do a
happens ever
damn
since
thing.
Chris was gone, right? Matt will just stop talking, and now I have to talk to myself, right, while he's sitting here writing up. He's doing it right now, exactly right now.
I don't take notes anymore.
He just gets real quiet, and nothing happens.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
See, Matt, you have the ability. Allison has this ability too to write down something and will be listening and
Yeah.
responding to other things at the same time.
I can text and sing at the same time.
Multitask.
The
Yeah.
only thing there's so
Mhm.
much other crap going on in my brain is like a traffic jam, so that I can only do if I'm like committing
One thing at a time.
something to an
Right.
action.
Right.
It's just one thing at a time.
One thing at a
I
time.
know.
That's it.
That's one thing at a time. What
That's
about you,
all you
Juan?
can do.
I'm a good multitasker.
Yeah,
I'm a
I
good
believe it.
multitasker.
I
Yeah.
believe it.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
when I'm typing something in the message,
Mhm.
you know, I'm also, get up and I'll get a snack and and I'm on another, texting someone, and I'm just multitasking.
Yeah.
I'm good at it, even when I'm working.
Yeah,
Good at
that's it.
multitasking,
That's it.
So
Yeah,
Yeah,
you gotta keep
good
those
at-
plates spinning.
But
You gotta do it.
are the people you were talking about, are they in the photos that Allison put up?
Yeah.
Oh,
the-
yeah.
the
Oh, yeah,
podcast?
yeah, for
Because
sure.
She did a photo dump, like a
Oh,
couple of
yeah,
photos.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, Jesse and Steph are in there. We
Yeah.
got some, and I think we got some pictures of Ben.
Oh yeah,
and
Ben's
Ace
in
is
there.
in
Yeah,
there.
yeah. The whole
Yeah.
gang. There's
Yeah.
good because the
Right.
pictures all got shared around all through
Yeah.
the different stuff. Yeah, it was really fun. We stayed around for the first 2 movies both nights.
Mhm.
But or did we stay around for the second movie?
Yeah, we
Second night? Yeah,
I,
we did.
I was like, I fell asleep.
You were
through
gone.
half of
Yeah,
it.
you were gone. So did you drink all of those PBRs on Saturday?
Not all of them. I had
Okay.
some left over.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
I
yeah.
still drank a good bit of them though throughout the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, well, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to drink them
Yeah.
through the day. But yeah, it's
Spread them out.
yeah, that's exactly
Yep.
right. Yeah, it's like butter on warm bread.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was a wonderful time. We got to hang out, go
Nice.
around, check out all the vendors. There was all kinds of crazy stuff. I got a sweet Mortal Kombat shirt.
Oh,
Nice.
Oh my god,
coolest
with
Mortal
Goro
Kombat
on the
shirt.
front and the back.
yeah.
Nice.
Oh
That's right.
my god. And you know,
This is annual.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
every year.
annual.
Yeah,
Okay,
every
so
year.
y'all go every
yeah,
year.
yeah,
Okay.
every year, and it's always in July, isn't it?
Yeah,
Okay.
July.
Yeah.
Usually like early July. Sometime.
See, I missed it last year. I got COVID the day before it
Oh,
happened,
no.
and I was with Deirdre. Worse yet,
Okay.
because Deirdre and I
Okay.
got together, and I was like, yeah, 'cause-
That sounded
yeah.
just period.
yeah, sorry.
So
Worse
Deirdre.
yet, I was
Sorry.
stuck
I
with
was with
Deirdre.
Deirdre.
Sorry.
So I was like, Deirdre and I
Yeah.
got together. We were going around to this place. There was this up from the bookstore they work at. There's a place called Daydream Antiques, and
Okay.
they have all kinds of weird, cool stuff,
Nice.
different places. So I was like, let's go check this place out. You want to go? She was like, yeah, sure. So we went over there, and going around, I talked to the person who was like manning the whole shop, and she
Mhm.
was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be, because she had I forget what shirt she had, some kind of shirt on that was reminiscent of something. I was like, oh, that's a cool shirt. She's-
Okay.
I think it might have been for VHS Fest. And I was like, oh,
Oh,
that's
okay.
cool. I'm actually going up there tomorrow.
right.
She's like, oh, yeah, I'll be there vending. I was like, all right, well, I'll see you
Nice.
tomorrow. And then I woke up the next day. I was like, not going.
Not going.
Nope,
It ain't
not happening.
You
Not
just- you just
happening.
felt like shit.
Oh, my God. That was the worst. Because I had COVID, twice?
Yeah.
You did, because I think
Yeah.
that might have been a time that I was supposed to come up.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
the
yeah.
last time I was supposed to come up, you had gotten really sick.
Yeah, I got
it was,
really
yeah,
just-
around the same
yeah.
Oh,
time. 'cause It was
yeah.
your birthday again.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Because I had COVID, and the first time that I had COVID,
Mhm.
I didn't lose my smell or my taste or any of that
Mhm.
stuff, and I felt perfectly normal. I didn't
Right.
get sick, and I didn't have a fever or anything.
Right.
And it wasn't until, because of course Juan got the tour before we started the show,
Yeah.
and I went out to feed the goats,
Mhm.
right? And they had gotten out of the fence, and so I had to walk around the pond to get them back in.
Oh wow.
And by the time I got back in the house, I had to sit down for like a half hour
Oh,
to catch my breath. I was like,
man.
what the hell is going on? And so that
the
was,
first sign
but
of-
that was it. I didn't have any other problems
Oh,
except for
okay.
shortness of breath, because
Okay.
walking around the house and stuff like that, no
Right.
problem.
right.
Because once I tested positive, I just quarantined
You just
myself and walking
And you
around,
were fine.
it was no big deal, you know.
Mhm.
But going that distance for whatever reason, that was
It
really
just took
affected me.
care of
But that second time,
Oh,
I
man.
was dying.
Oh,
I was
no.
dying, and I was here by myself, so I had to take care of all the
Oh,
animals and all that.
yeah.
Kind
Oh
of
my god, yeah, that's right.
Oh
you
my
were.
god, it
Oh.
sucked. It
Oh,
sucked
man, I
really
can
bad.
We
imagine.
just left you. We're like,
Yeah,
fuck
everybody's-
this.
yeah.
we went up there anyway.
But you never got COVID, right?
I probably have had COVID
Right.
at the end of
Right.
last year because
Mhm.
Allison ended up testing positive for it at one point,
Oh,
and I had
okay.
felt kind of weird, like and sick.
Uh-huh.
So what
Uh-huh.
happened at the end of last year? I got mono, and that was like the
Oh,
worst
I remember
sickness
you-
I ever had.
I remember.
I just was like so drained, fucked up, and I was like, it just like flattened me pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt kind of like I felt a little like sick, like almost like allergies, or maybe a
Mhm.
little bit more. I had a little
Mhm.
bit of shortness of breath, and I was like,
Mhm.
what the hell is this? I was like, whatever. This
Mm-hmm. Right.
isn't. It wasn't bugging me that much, so I said,
Right.
fuck it. But then Allison started feeling sick. She tested positive for COVID. By that time, I tested and I was negative. So I was
Negative.
like, I'm pretty sure I got it.
Well, I think we all have probably, a lot of people have had it, because
Yeah.
I've always tested negative,
Mhm.
but there have been moments where I didn't feel well. I didn't feel myself,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Mhm.
and something now everybody is kind of, mask weary, and they're kind of like tired of wearing masks.
Mm,
And,
Yeah. Oh
they-
man.
and I admit that I don't wear my mask like I used to.
Sure.
Oh, sure.
But
yeah.
when I'm around a lot of people, it kind of hits me. you know, there was life before COVID and life after COVID.
Yeah, for sure.
And now when I'm around a bunch of people and I don't have my mask, I instantly think, oh no, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, but there were moments where I didn't feel well. But when I went to take the test, I tested negative.
Mhm.
So, you know, maybe I did have a touch of it. I don't know. And
Sure.
maybe, you know, everybody's immune system is different.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe it just didn't affect me like in a major way. But
And I'm
I
assuming,
heard
like,
it's brutal. I
it's-
heard it's
man.
brutal.
It's like getting curbed
Yeah.
a lot, like as far as the
Yeah.
virus, like the intensity of the virus,
Mhm.
because of like how much immunity there is out there
Mhm.
now and how
Yeah.
much exposure there has been.
Mhm.
So now it is kind of getting to be like a less of a dangerous
Right,
issue,
right,
which fortunately, you know, at first people were treating it like, oh, it's nothing.
right.
But like, yeah, but it's also nothing like your body's ever seen before.
Right,
So it's gonna
absolutely.
fuck you up,
Absolutely.
probably. Or and if it doesn't
Yep.
fuck you up,
Yep.
it's gonna quickly spread to the next guy.
Absolutely.
Could you imagine
yeah.
if we took no measures at all?
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
This shit would have ravaged
Well,
the,
it's
the
Just going to
population.
go away. I don't know if you heard this or not. It
It
was
was just gonna go by the end of the summer. It's
disappear.
gonna be
It's
gone.
going to
Yeah.
disappear.
You know, they were talking about herd immunity back in the, you know, back
Yeah,
when it
yeah,
first
yeah.
started.
Yeah.
But it was just gonna be gone, just
Right,
magically
right.
disappear.
If we could think,
Along with like a third of the population.
this was, a real quote was
Yeah.
like,
yeah, basically.
the
yeah.
daylight really does something to kind of
Mhm.
destroy it. So if we could
Yeah.
figure out how to do that
That's
inside the body,
with bleach.
Could
'Cause
we
I
send-
wrote it-
could
I
we
wrote
put
it down
bleach
when
into
he
the
wrote it,
body?
when
Send
he said
people
it.
to the sun.
yeah, send them to the sun, burn them up.
Sunlight, you know, is a germ repellent.
That's
Yeah,
right.
so-
Oh yeah, every
Hey,
day.
just
So-
shed some light on it.
Every day.
Mhm.
That's right. That's why that's where that saying comes
We live in
from.
a crazy damn world.
It is
Oh
so
my God.
fucking weird, yeah. And
Mhm.
and now I oftentimes lament the
Yep.
kind of the weird breaks and like
Mhm.
hard stop that the world took during COVID.
Oh,
Because I'm
Yeah.
like, man, what was
Yeah.
a glorious time.
It
People were
was.
dying.
It
and I was like
I mean,
having
you know,
the best
but
time of my
honestly,
life.
it was just like, you know, it forced everybody to take a break,
Right.
you know, because everybody
Yeah.
just run,
Yeah,
it really
like
was.
a rat race.
Unlike
you know?
Yes.
anything
Yes.
ever
But it forced
in
you
our
to
lives.
go in and you know,
Mhm.
literally go inside
Yes.
and take a break.
Absolutely.
You know, and think
Yeah.
about
I
things,
was like, it was like
you know,
I've tried to basically do that in an
Mhm.
analogous way
Mhm.
inside, like personally throughout
Mhm.
my life, just to kind of, you know, declutter my shit,
Mhm.
figure out where I need to grow.
Mhm.
But it
And
was like,
just as terrifying.
oh yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. This was like a writ
Yeah.
large manifestation of what it's like to have to
Hold
look
that
in
mirror
the
up.
mirror.
Hold
Exactly.
the mirror
You're right.
up,
Exactly.
buddy.
Right. Exactly, Juan.
Yeah.
But like, it was weird
Yeah.
to just
Yep.
make be doing that with the world at the time.
Yeah. It was a never and you know, who would have thought that we would live through something like that?
Yeah,
Like
it's
this. 'Cause, I mean,
crazy.
it's still here. It's just that we're in a better place.
Right.
But who thought that we would live to see something like that? I mean, you know, the
Mhm.
Black Plague was how long ago?
Yeah, I know, right?
Years, you know, but we can say generations from now,
Yeah.
they'll look back on this and say, you know, it'll just be a time in history where, you know, people had to really, you know, go in and sacrifice and just, you know, curtail their normal lives to face a new normal.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
You
And
know, and it was scary.
Well,
you know, people were dying, and you know,
yeah, it's the shift that, but
Mhm.
people don't want to, you know, like acknowledge that,
no,
you know, and that's
Right.
because people get, well, of course, in our country, we have the problem of everybody thinks that I get to decide what happens.
right,
You know, I'm in
Right.
charge.
Right.
And so then everybody gets all wrapped up in that personal
Yes.
freedom thing.
yes.
And they don't take into account the fact that like we all live next to each other
Absolutely.
and we work together and
Yes.
like our whole society is based around interacting with one another.
Yes.
So all of a sudden now we have to have mandates to be like,
Mhm.
listen,
Mhm.
you're making each other sick.
yes,
Keep away from each
Yes.
other. And then we have to figure out all this other stuff. And the moment that they're like, all right, the old
Mhm.
stuff isn't going to work anymore,
Mhm.
then corporations are like, well, then I guess we just going to have to charge you for new ways to interact with each
yeah,
other,
It
aren't
has
we?
Mhm.
it changed the economic
Yeah.
landscape. There was
Yep.
so it was like what they
Yep.
call like a black swan event
Yeah.
Mhm.
where all this like this economic ruin started happening, and in the ashes of it, all the
Mhm.
people with money scooped up the opportunities
Yup.
Mhm.
and grew. Like
Mhm.
corporations, like bottom lines grew like 1,000%.
Right.
Mhm.
Like not actually, but not super exaggerated.
Sure.
Mhm.
Just crazy stuff where there's like people on the sidelines waiting for moments like that to happen
Yep.
to take advantage of it. But
Almighty dollar.
there we are, you know, with like I think the personal growth aspect of it was really cool though and really interesting. That was
Yeah.
like when I started
Yeah.
writing music with my other band, like
Mhm.
you know, I finally had an opportunity to sit down and just fucking do that
Right.
and just find out what came out of you know,
Mhm.
like what could come out of me because like
Mhm.
everything else was out of the way.
Mhm.
It was for me. It was one of the. It was great and terrible all at the same time
Mhm.
because I up until this
Mhm.
point, well, and through a good chunk of COVID, I had a terrible immune system, right? That it was just like I would get sick at the drop of a hat,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and so I had like
There's some of them triple
bottles.
stackers.
It's really what it was. Yeah. They just all built up in there, and it just pulled my immune system down. My white blood cell count was through the floor. But so I had all this hand sanitizer stocked up,
Mhm.
all these Lysol wipes and
Mhm.
everything. And then when the
Mhm.
world shut down, I was like, I am prepared for this.
Mhm.
All the people with the
I'm
cans of
ready.
beans and shit,
Mhm.
the landmines in
And
their
toilet
yard.
paper.
I have no food, but everything's gonna be clean. And,
Yeah.
yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
I tell you, it's like
forced us to really just look at
Yeah.
things differently.
Yeah.
And, you know, and yeah, I don't like the four walls got to me after a while. You know,
Sure.
they just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
anybody.
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
You know, and I had to, you know, find myself having to go out if it was just to take a walk. And,
absolutely.
you know, and when you're
Mhm.
by yourself, you're good. When you're in an open space, you're fine. You know,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
Mhm.
being around other people. But it literally is just like it was like life before and life after.
Yeah.
And people are getting lax, and I get it. You know,
Sure,
you
sure.
get fatigue, and you know you get tired of it. But people, what always astounded me is people just. It's like purpose. They just didn't care. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
I don't care if you get sick.
Yeah, yeah,
my
yeah.
freedom. You're infringing on my freedoms. I'm not wearing a mask. You know, and it just you know it just amazed me. But you know, people there's a large section of the population who just did not want to wear a mask at all.
Right, of course.
So, and those people, you're not going to change their mind.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you just wear one, you know, so
Right.
that way you can take care of yourself and
Yeah.
the people around you.
Well,
Yeah.
that was another thing that was interesting
Yeah.
was it revealed the values
Yep.
of our society
Mhm.
and what values are very present
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
which ones are present in you
Mhm.
and which ones are present in your neighbors.
Mhm.
Because there are people with that whole constituency of people who
Mhm.
live their lives and they still do.
Mhm.
You whatever you do better not get in my way.
Yep.
And well, I'm right because it's my life and I
Like
can
you
do
were
whatever the
just saying.
fuck I want
Right.
with it.
Right.
Mhm.
You just need to
Mhm.
accommodate me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you start asking them to just please do something that's not going to have a chain
Right.
reaction across the whole world, they're going to
Mhm.
go, fuck you.
Right.
The
Right.
link stops here, baby.
Yeah.
The buck stops with me. I ain't doing a damn thing
Mhm.
because I don't want to.
I'm gonna single-handedly destroy this whole attempt
Yep.
at trying to fix this problem. It's like when we were coming.
Mhm.
I think when we were coming back from Hawaii, I think it was.
Mhm.
We were at the airport,
Mhm.
and we were there. You know, they're making announcements over while we're all waiting. You know,
Mhm.
at our gate or whatever.
Right.
And they're like, all right, everybody line up for the the A section or whatever
Mhm.
listing the numbers. So we all get in line, and we're all asking each other like, what number are you? What number are you? So we can all get in the right spot.
Right.
You know, everybody following directions, getting into order to make this as seamless and easy as possible.
Mhm.
Well, this couple that had to be maybe in their late 50s, 60s,
Mhm.
something like that.
Mhm.
They got in front of us, and this other younger guy who was in front of us. And they said, what number are you guys? And they go, oh, we're like, 70 something or whatever. They're supposed to be way behind us. They're like, well,
Mhm.
actually, you're supposed to be back there. And he's like, well, we're going to be here today. And he's like, well,
Oh,
that's not
shit.
how this works. He says, well, that's how it's going to work
Oh,
today.
man.
And then
Well-
they stood like real defensive, like,
Yeah.
I'm going to be in this part of the line because I got here first.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
They're like, that's not the whole point. And so then eventually they stood there for long enough.
Mhm.
Then he's like, actually, maybe we should go to the back. And I was like, if only you could have done this like
Oh.
years ago, we wouldn't have got into all this shit. But
Mhm.
what are you gonna do?
Mm.
Yeah, the people are, the
You
way
want to
they
call me entitled? I'm entitled. It
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
matter.
yeah.
So what? So what? But
are. Yeah, it's people.
America.
It's America.
Yeah,
Ain't
just
that-
trying
oh my
That's
God!
right, baby.
Let me get it go. Where the
Get it-
fuck
get
is
it
there?
there.
Free homeless.
Yeah. That's right.
Little pink asses, baby. Get them lighters out. Yeah.
Mhm.
It just shined the light on
Burn
that
the world
It
down.
did.
for
Yeah.
people in
Yeah.
our lives.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Land of the free,
That's
home
right.
of the.
Home of my freedom.
Home of not.
Land of the free, home of my freedom.
That's right. And
That's what the
for some
motto's
people,
gonna
there's no
be.
home at all.
That's right. Yeah,
They're
yeah.
still on the goddamn street.
Doesn't matter. I still live in a
Home.
home. My home.
Where?
Yeah, whatever you want.
Mhm.
I live
Speaking
in a
of which,
bus stop.
Pennsylvania is considering changing its state song. I don't know what
What
is.
is it now?
I-
Sing it.
So
Sing it, Suter.
I have no idea. It's probably Sweet Home Alabama.
We'll
given
do that.
given the
Ain't
way
that
that we're
America?
so far. Yeah, that's it. Here it is. Ain't that America? Free you and me. Yes.
Little pink
Little big houses
houses.
for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes, indeed.
We're gonna change it to "Welcome to the Jungle" by Guns N' Roses, because you can have lots of different kinds of plants
Oh.
here that we can have down in Maryland and all other
Yeah.
places.
Oh man, so didn't they legalize
It's-
weed down
it's-
in
they
Maryland?
did.
It
Like,
got
they
legalized
did.
last year, but it
Yeah.
all went into effect finally.
It
So
all
what?
went into
So what
effect.
does that
Yeah.
entail? What does that mean? Does
It's
I
there,
mean, you can.
is it
go
just
and-
decriminalized now?
20,
or
no,
is it-
21 up,
Yeah.
adult use.
Yes.
What-
Yep. There's
no,
no,
no
more.
restriction on
No,
amounts or anything
no,
like that.
I mean,
Well,
I
yeah,
heard
there
at
are,
one
yeah.
of the dispensaries that was a line
Yeah.
around like
Damn.
Yeah.
wrapped around the corner. So now it's just like totally legal.
They
Yeah.
should have put the
It's
vaccine
not
in
here
weed
yet?
and just legalized weed. That could have got them all covered, baby.
Absolutely.
That's how you get it done.
Yeah. No bleach needed.
No,
That's
that's right.
No bleach
No,
needed.
let's put bleach in some of the people who are more resistant.
Yes.
I know how to fix our problems.
I got it.
Yes, indeed.
No
Oh.
no political
Yep.
party necessary.
No,
That's right.
Yeah, that's it. That's how we
Mhm.
get it done.
Damn,
yeah.
that's wild though. So I
Yeah.
guess that hey,
it's
that's,
not here yet.
No,
No.
PA. No,
we're
we're-
antiquated,
since,
man. We're,
because we're technically not even a state. We're a
Uh-huh.
commonwealth.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
The Commonwealth
everything,
of Pennsylvania. yeah.
everything happens
Yeah.
like 30, 40 years after.
We've been dealing with our neighbors fucking our shit up for a long time.
Oh, my
Because up
God.
here, it's just a tapestry of municipalities. and
Yeah,
it's so
Mhm.
stupid.
It's like all of the staff at the school wishing that they could go to the party. But they're like, nah, we have to chaperone. We
Yeah.
have to make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, but they have been. They're finally, of course, they're hitting them where it counts in the purse
Mhm.
strings,
Mhm.
and so they're saying we're missing out on like hundreds of thousands of dollars of
Mhm.
tax revenue
Yeah,
Well, that's the
hell
thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
by
changing
not
it.
approving this.
Changing it from the criminalization and
Yes.
that
Yeah.
machine into taxable,
Yep.
Right.
Because I mean,
Mhm.
Jesus Christ, I just heard that they're trying to. We were talking about this that they're trying to fucking put a toll on that
Oh
Harrisburg
yeah, on the
bridge.
fucking Harrisburg.
That is such
Yeah.
a busy bridge, but I'm like, what?
Well,
It's
there's
gonna-
so
it's
many
gonna be a
people that
nightmare.
live here, like
Mhm.
around York, and they commute across the bridge to work at the Capitol and
Yeah.
all this stuff in Harrisburg.
Yeah.
And they're talking the main bridge that goes
Mhm.
across. They're talking about putting a
Mhm.
toll on that bridge.
And you know what?
What?
I just went to
Yeah,
Pittsburgh.
yeah.
And that's further up.
yeah,
Yeah.
so just a little bit
Up
further up,
north,
not
okay.
even that far. Yeah,
about
Mhm.
30 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I just went to Pittsburgh a couple weeks ago. I just got my bill, my toll by plate.
Oh gosh.
It cost me over $100 fucking dollars
outta
for a
here.
round trip for that
Yeah.
to be on the toll road. I was like,
Oh, my
if I'd have known
gosh,
that, I would have
man.
drove through a cow field. I
Yeah.
don't give a
Hell
fuck.
yeah.
Are you kidding me?
But any way they can get you
Oh,
in the
yeah.
pocket, they
Think-
will.
Oh my
Yeah.
I
god.
swear.
That's
I mean,
it.
now first it was the light cameras, and
Mhm.
and then you'll get a like months later you'll get a bill in the mail for a ticket.
Yeah. Right.
$80. I think the highest ticket I ever got was like, I think it was like 100 and something.
Yeah.
And I was in DC. I think
Oh
DC.
yeah. Oh
And the
yeah.
people there don't even have
crazy.
money.
And
Like,
you don't even
what the
fucking see them.
Yeah. No.
And
no.
and if you're driving in the day, you don't see that flash.
No.
No.
No
and
way.
then you just get a ticket in the mail. I'm
Yeah,
like,
surprise. Yeah.
good God
Yeah.
Almighty! And then
Yeah.
and tolls too.
Oh
It
yeah.
used to be where you could pay the toll, but now you don't do that.
Yeah.
anymore.
I
Or if you
thought
had
it
an
was like-
Easy Pass or something.
Yeah. Right.
I was
Right.
like,
But
oh,
now-
I got $10. It's no problem.
Right. Right.
What
No,
the
not,
fuck?
not anymore.
Not anymore.
Your income is taxed before it even gets in your pocket.
Mhm.
Yup.
Then it's taxed every which way, up and
Yep.
down, left and right.
Yup.
Mhm.
Taxing it coming and going. I mean, Jesus
Mhm.
Christ, they just whittle it down to nothing.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And then your
Wow.
wages are staying stagnant. It's
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Jesus Christ,
Of
we're
course.
fucked. We're so fucked.
Inflation.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Canada, keep burning, baby. I want to go. I want to be done. This
Yeah.
experiment is over.
If
Yeah.
Canada burns far enough, can we move up?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm moving north.
Absolutely.
I'll move into the charcoal
more
remains.
smoke.
And y'all are closer to it.
That's
You
we're
know,
heading up.
I'm gonna come up here
That's,
too.
that's
We'll
right.
bring you
Yeah.
with us, Juan. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We got room in the
We're
van.
gonna live in the forest.
Yeah.
The
Um,
hottest forest we could
Oh,
find.
yeah. We'll make it work.
What is
We'll
up
make it
with
work.
that though? My God.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
you
still
know,
going.
I know.
They
It's
can't get it
still,
under control,
No,
man.
no.
My
Just
God.
like this show.
They're just apologizing to it. Yeah.
It is off the rails, baby.
Yeah.
It cannot get it
but
under
it
control.
started
Yeah.
out west, right? In Vancouver or something. Oh no, it started in Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Started in Toronto,
Yeah.
I think. My God, man! And then because I went outside, no, it was late at night. It was like 2 a.m. I'm a night owl,
Sure. Yeah.
and I had the balcony door open, and it smelled like somebody was grilling, barbecuing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally,
Yeah.
and the air was thick. And the next morning, the air was thick. You can see where the air was thick from the fog, the smoke.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
Yeah.
like, oh man. And I think the first I'd heard about it before the news was on one of the podcasts when Allison was talking about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then the news, it was all over the news. And I
Yep.
was like, oh, okay. So the Canadian wildfires.
Yeah.
But this is the first time anything like that ever happened.
Yeah.
She
I can think
jokingly
of.
said it like we were walking,
Mhm.
sometimes we
yeah,
go walk
I
around
think
the
that was
park.
what, yeah.
And she said something like, she's like, man, this
Mhm.
air is just like kind of smoggy, smoky. She's like,
Mhm, mhm.
Canada's, it's probably Canada's on fire.
And
And,
damn
I
if
was
it
like,
wasn't.
oh my God. I'm like, Jesus Christ, please don't make any other
Mm.
predictions.
Yeah, right, that's
because
right.
I'm afraid of what will come true.
Yeah. Just
Mhm.
keep them to yourself.
I'm
You're like a
telling you.
magic 8-ball.
That's right.
I'm
yeah. And,
telling
I
you.
mean, and we in York, in
Mhm.
this area of York, we had the worst air quality in the world.
Oh man.
The whole world. Because of
We
the way
also-
that all the systems were moving, it swirled
Mhm.
around.
They got the
our
worst
whole
population quality too.
Yeah, well, I mean, might as well throw it all in. It's already on fire.
now.
Yeah, that's right.
It's mostly because we both live here at the same time.
That's right. It's
You
really
can say that,
should be
yeah.
some
Yeah, that's right.
regulation. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to get some regulation.
Come down
in
to
there.
Baltimore sometimes. I mean,
Yeah.
my God. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah, that's it.
there's a lot of stuff going on, with the shootings. And
Yeah,
my God.
man.
Mm, dude.
Oh yeah, it's we're getting them up here in York now
Yeah,
too.
I
Like
know. I
every
heard.
day.
I heard.
Some guy was sitting on the street like begging for money.
Mhm.
Some guy came up and shot him
Oh,
in the
man.
head,
Oh, my
executioner style. He's
gosh,
still
man.
alive as far as this morning.
Oh man, do it
Jesus
right at least, so he
Christmas.
doesn't have to worry about his money problems
Like,
anymore.
what the
Jesus.
fuck is going on in this world?
Yeah, people are just losing their minds.
Yeah.
They
Mhm.
really are. I mean, people
I don't
are.
get it.
They
It's
are.
scary, man. I'm so
Yeah.
glad nobody listens to this show because, like, I don't want more attention on me in life.
Yeah.
I want to just kind of float through like a ghost
back.
and not get turned into a real ghost,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but kind of just be, under the radar. And that's my
Mhm.
whole
It's
MO.
under the radar.
Right.
See,
Under
you
that
saying
radar.
that now is going to blow up.
That's
Boom,
right.
I
boom,
know.
boom,
It
boom.
is.
Yeah, I know,
It's
right?
it's all going to
It's
get,
gonna be like
gonna
the
get
4th of
worse
July
and
up in
worse. That's
here.
right.
Well,
Yeah.
you keep at it long enough, and it'll build. I know you all been doing this for a long time.
We have.
Yeah.
But you keep at it, the audience will build. I mean, y'all have a built-in audience now.
Sure. Right.
Yeah.
But it just takes that one little spark
Yeah.
to, But I know it's just.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Our whole purpose is just
Yeah.
to make each other laugh.
We just
That's
wanna-
really it.
Yeah,
and
just
we-
yeah.
Make each other laugh and
Don't
just
make
to
me
drive
laugh, I swear.
everybody else away.
Exactly.
That's right.
We're the loud people in the back of the restaurant just laughing our
Yeah,
asses
That's
off.
it.
And
Yeah.
everyone's like, are they going to leave soon? Can we move
They
our
almost
tables?
done. Like, can we get another round of drinks over here? Yeah, that's how we handle it. That's how we get it all done. But yeah. So anyhow, weird
Mhm.
news was good. Well, we didn't do weird news stuff, but the drive-in was good.
Nice.
I'm getting ahead of myself.
Let's
here.
just skip over early segue.
Let's just do
Early
weird news.
segue.
Who the fuck cares? Let's just do weird news.
Mm.
VHS was great. We got to see everybody.
Oh,
we
man.
love you, everybody.
I was
We got
going
to
to
see
try.
other-
I'm here to
That's a
promote
weekend affair,
Juan
right?
right now.
Yeah,
We got to promote
we got
Juan's
plenty
career.
of Juan. We got Juan. Juan, let's hear all about it.
Juan, I'm wondering, 'cause
Okay.
even though we've known each other for a long time, we were
Right.
talking about
Yeah.
that. We've known each other for probably
Well,
like
almost
8 or 10 years, something like that.
close.
We've
Yeah.
been at the same job,
Mhm.
at the same time
Mhm.
for a long time.
Well, 2 years ago.
There we go.
That's it. That's right. Yep.
But always just been into the arts and been into movies and been into music
Mhm.
and been into not really much of a sports guy, but I've
Right.
always been into writing and movies and theater and cinema and things like that. And growing up, my mother got us a little agent. Well, she didn't get us a little agent, but there was a local agent
Sure.
that she called up, and I don't think we ever got the interview, but I think we maybe met with a lady, but nothing ever came of it. This
Mhm.
was probably in the mid 80s.
Okay.
We were like 9 or 10.
Oh wow.
And nothing ever really came of it. But we loved the show. We loved Gary Coleman and Emmanuel Lewis from Webster. You all remember Webster?
sure,
The
yeah.
show
Sure,
Webster?
yeah.
He was the other little guy.
Mm-hmm.
And we could do that, and then we just were always into love movies and watching movies. We used to watch a lot of stuff that maybe we shouldn't have been watching at that time, but it
It's
was
the best
what
time
it
to
was.
watch them.
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah.
It makes the most impact on you.
Absolutely. So when nothing ever came of it, but we were always like movie buffs and movie fans. But then when we got to be like 18, they were filming the show Homicide.
Oh, yeah, right.
in Maryland.
Yeah, that's right.
So 18 or 19, maybe 20, we started getting extra work on the show. And you can look up on YouTube like certain episodes. There was one where there was a cult. There was a cult.
There we go.
And we were members of a cult.
Cool.
Oh, hell
African
yeah.
cult. And then we
Yeah.
all took poison and killed, and then were bodies on the
Oh,
floor.
yeah.
Right.
That was one episode. And then one episode we were behind the gate, the fence, and one of the main stars, he was looking at a body, and we were like this on the fence, the both of us.
Cool.
And we were right in the camera,
That's
so
awesome.
you know, and then we just started just doing extra work. We started getting a lot of extra parts. And then Sean kind of like stopped, and he's always been a writer, storyteller, writer. He writes a lot of books. He's written a couple novels.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
And he
And Sean is Juan's brother.
Yes,
By the way. Just a reminder for the audience.
twin,
Yeah.
right? And he got out of the acting side of it, but I kept on, and then eventually I started booking more extra work, and then I became SAG eligible, unionized. And when I was eligible to join, it was through a commercial that I did at the brewery, in one of the breweries in Maryland, and that was like I became a must join. So. And then after that, I didn't join right away. Then I booked another part on a show called Thespian, which is an Amazon Prime show.
Okay.
And then once I did that part, and I played a doctor, I joined the union. And then
Nice.
so it's been a couple of years now, and I booked a small part in a independent feature, which we had a few premieres for. Which is the most recent one was earlier this year, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I've just been on steadily on the grind,
Yeah, man.
trying to make it happen. Of course, with the day job, got to keep the day job, got to eat.
Yeah. Well, I mean, our job's great for that.
Yeah,
because it's so
there's
much
a lot of
flexibility.
leverage and
Yeah, you can just
flexibility
take
to-
off on a drop
Yeah.
of a dime and just
exactly.
go to auditions if you
Yeah.
have to or whatever.
And
go-
everything is Skype and Zoom now, so you don't have to go to the building. You can
That's
just
nice.
even
do
better.
a Zoom
Yeah.
audition. So
Do you have to just like do you do it like live on call or do
Some
you
of 'em-
send
some of 'em
send
you
in like
do.
tapes and stuff
some
like
of them
that?
doing live on call, but some of them you get the script and you just film it online.
Okay.
I mean, you pre-film it and submit it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of nice because it gives you the opportunity to like make your best take.
Exactly. It can get kind of nerve-wracking being in the room,
Mm-hmm.
but I kind of
yeah.
I do miss it because it's it's exciting. You go to
Yeah, yeah.
you
There's
go
probably
to
an element too that's like
It
a,
is.
like a
Yeah.
actual like
Mhm.
personal element that you like read kind of
People,
the room and
yeah.
what's kind of working or what
Exactly.
is going to work better.
There are goods and good pros and cons to both,
Mhm.
but being everything is remote now. A lot of things is remote now, so I gotten used to just doing Zoom auditions. Haven't done one in a while, but the next one I'll do. I have a ring light and things like that. So
Yeah.
you just jump in front of the ring light and do it.
Yeah,
do
absolutely.
your thing. So
Yeah.
but I've been just for years, ever since I've been a kid, been loved movies and wanted to be an actor. So
Mhm.
and I still call myself an aspiring actor. But one day it'll stick. I'll throw something
You're
in
an
a wall and
artist.
it'll stick.
Yeah.
You're an artist. That's the thing. I think this
Yeah.
kind of conversation is pretty much like how we ended up becoming
Mhm.
friends
Mhm.
through work because we started talking about the right
Mhm.
subject and we're both like, oh yeah, we love movies. Like
Right, and
we just
you
got into it.
you're a musician and an
Mhm.
artist. You draw,
Mhm.
and an artist takes many forms.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
And you guys are both musicians, so
Mhm.
an artist, and you're a jack of all trades and
Yeah.
Whatever I get
a
my
man
hands
of
on.
many faces.
That's
so,
right.
but I've always wanted to play an instrument.
It's never too late.
I
It's-
face
That's
if,
true,
if you're
yeah.
interested in
Yeah.
it, honestly,
Yeah.
and I feel like a lot of people feel like there's some kind of like a gatekeeping to
Right.
Mhm.
to doing an art that
Right.
you are interested in.
Right.
I always just say, look, I'm my own worst critic. I
Yeah.
think my stuff sucks most of the time. You know,
Mhm.
I'll make stuff and I'll just be, but it's honestly, it's not that hard as long as you just have like a goal and a vision
Right.
in your mind.
Right.
You just keep on pushing, poking, and
Sure.
trying that medium until it starts looking like what you want it. And then
Mhm.
that moment, that for me, honestly, that experience of like, hey, this
Mhm.
is kind of taking shape.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
oh wow, this is starting to become something.
Mhm.
Right.
That's what I love, and
Mhm.
that keeps me, that inspires me, like in the middle of it, to be like, all right, I can do this.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna keep going.
Mhm.
Honestly, the difference between like poor art and good art as far as
Mhm.
like skill goes,
Mhm.
it's just how much you do with it.
Right.
It's
And
just
it's
time.
subjective. I mean,
You can keep on
you can,
fucking with it until it's better. I mean, you
right.
always can improve it.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
And and one man's piece of shit is another man's treasure. You
Absolutely.
know?
There's
That's-
character and
yeah.
stuff that's even like
Yeah.
lower effort, quote unquote.
Right.
Yeah, and people who like get wrapped up in the idea of like, well, I sound
Right.
too much like this person, or
Right.
I do too much like. My
Mhm.
advice to them is always try your best to emulate your favorite musician, right?
Right.
Or whatever you're doing, and if
Right.
you're singing or playing or whatever,
Right.
because you'll never do it.
Right.
But what you will do
Is
is
get
you'll
better.
you'll get better,
Yeah.
and you'll start to create your own style because
Absolutely.
of it. You know, and
Yeah.
so it's inevitable that if you have somebody who has a well-trained ear,
Right.
they'll be able to pick out your influences.
Mhm.
But what you want them to be able to do is to say, these are your influences, and
Right.
not you sound like this
But you
person.
sound just like
right?
that.
And so that's that
Exactly.
idea. Just keep
Yeah.
chasing after it, because you'll
Mhm.
find yourself somewhere in there. There's a reason
Mhm.
you're attracted to that.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah.
I'm curious, Juan, like how
Mhm.
with your approach to acting, I've
Mhm.
heard people like
Mhm.
talk about doing like the
Method and
method,
stuff.
or
Mhm.
just be like how do you
Mhm.
act? I pretend like I'm doing this because that's what I get paid to do.
Yeah.
Like, I don't do, I'll do the
Right.
whole method
Some
thing.
people have a whole routine and a whole, they go all in space about, well, I do this in a method, and I don't if I'm playing a bum, I won't take a shower.
Right.
And I won't, blase blah. But for me, especially when I did one of the independent films that I did,
Mhm.
it was a heavy movie,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to reading the scenes and reading the script, reading what the story was about. I put myself in the place of the character I was playing, and in the situation that the family was going through. And when I did that, I was able to get in the space, and when they would yell action, I would just be in character. There was no pre-plan, and I
Mhm.
didn't get all totally method. It's just putting myself in the place, the character.
So like
Mhm.
having almost like sympathizing with like,
Absolutely.
a person.
Yep.
Like how would you
Having sympathy
relate
and
it to? I'm just curious because I've done like
Mhm.
little acting bit parts for our friend who was in
Mhm.
film school, like briefly.
You did.
Me too.
So I
Me
did.
too.
Yes, Matt too. That's right. I forgot we both did. We
Yeah.
were never on the same set for the same
Well,
movie.
You
so,
know,
Okay.
you know what role I played? One,
What?
a porn star.
You know what? Get out of here.
I sure did.
Okay.
it was just a shot of his dick. He's
I
not
won
credited.
3 Emmys.
His
Okay.
dick is on IMDb, but he's
They were
not.
It's gonna
Daytime.
turn up.
They were
Look, it's
daytime
gonna be on the
Emmys.
internet somewhere. Yeah. It's gonna be in a porn. Get out of here.
OnlyFans.
yeah.
OF,
No, but yeah.
OF, baby.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep. So, but I mean, I don't. There's no really, like routine that I go through, and I haven't been in front of the camera for a while.
Mhm.
But I'm sure it's like getting on a bike.
Yeah.
And pedaling again.
Do you
it's
feel
just-
like you're nailing it if you feel something, or do you feel like you can nail it by just kind of like making the faces or the expressions or whatever?
For me, it's actually putting myself in the shoes, and it helps if you can directly relate to
Yeah.
whatever the story is,
Right.
because
Okay.
you really can put yourself in that situation.
Is that
um,
is that like draining to go maybe
it
go
can be.
back into like stuff
It can
inside
be.
of you that you're like,
It
I
can
gotta
be.
revisit this shit?
It can be. It can be, especially for people like, if it's really heavy, like a rape or something
Oh,
like that,
yeah.
that
Yeah.
can be really heavy. But the part that I was playing was the brother. The youngest brother went missing,
Okay.
and the family got together to try to figure out where he disappeared to.
Mm.
And fortunately, I've never been in that situation, but I was able to empathize with the character and put
Mhm.
myself in those shoes and say, okay, he, feels this way at this moment. And being the character I played was the oldest.
Mhm.
So I had to, kind of put on a brave front for everyone else. But I also had some vulnerability too.
Yeah.
So, but it's no magic. It's just, and like I said, I don't think myself as being method. It's
Mhm.
just that, I kind of put myself in read the script, put in my mind's eye what that person would be going through at that moment. You
Yeah.
know,
Would
but
you
I don't have any prep to lead up to it.
Would you
Right.
say that like your strength or the resource you have is like your ability to observe your own emotions during things
Sure.
in your own life
Yeah.
and being like, okay, you know, I'm in this, I'm feeling this,
Mhm.
I know what this is.
Mhm. And if you can't directly relate to it, there's something that happened in your life where you can kind of pull from.
Right.
You can
right,
pull from
right,
it.
right.
You
know
know,
how
because
you're
we
supposed to
all,
feel
you know,
in it.
right. And nobody gets through this life unscathed. You
Yeah.
know,
Oh,
you
God,
go through things, and you know, you can pull from
Mhm.
that. You
Yeah,
know, and
yeah.
and bring that into the character
Hmm.
and bring that to life
For
So,
sure.
That's,
Yeah.
that's so interesting
So
to me.
is there a role that you feel like you'd really love to sink your teeth in? Something that would sort of like a pinnacle, or somewhere in like an arena that would be like, I'd really love to be able to
Mhm.
touch that?
Well, there's I can't think of a role, but there's an actor named Anthony Mackie who his career is really, you know,
And he's
you know,
going, dude. I've
yeah,
been seeing him
yeah,
picking up so
yeah.
many like roles that are
Yeah.
various type of roles.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with him?
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he was in the Hurt Locker and,
Yeah, yeah.
and a lot of movies. And you know, black actors have made a lot of strides.
Sure.
You know, it's still not where it could be, but it's way better than it used to be.
yeah.
So I feel like, you know,
I think
and
watching like growing up in that like from like
Yeah.
the 70s,
Right.
going from 60s
oh yeah,
to now,
oh yeah, yeah.
you know, and studying
so
like
many
film
doors
history.
have been kicked down. You know,
It's
yeah.
crazy, man.
Mhm.
It's wild. Benny was going. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, and it's you know, that's a guy where I look at his career and it's on a trajectory, and he's around my age, you know, but he, you know, he's had a hell of a career
yeah.
and been in a lot of diverse parts and a lot of
Mhm.
movies. There are certain actors who I look at and you know, admire,
Mhm.
you know, but I want to be, of course, the one and only Juan.
Oh yeah,
That's
of
right.
course.
You know, but
No
you know,
one else.
there's you know, there's a few people who I admire, you know,
Mhm.
so and he's
Sure.
one of them. He's one of
Cool.
them. So you know, but you know, like I said, I've always been into just the arts, you know,
Right.
music, and
Mhm.
like I said, I've always wanted to play an instrument. There was a time where I wanted to play drums. I
Oh,
was
yeah.
obsessed with drums, you know, and then guitar,
Mhm.
you know, and I heard bass is harder than guitar. Though. I heard bass is tough, and I got well, you're a
I
bass
told him
player.
that.
You're a bass. Well, hey, yeah.
That's that government worker coming out of like, no, this is a hard job.
no, it's hard. It's harder to do
It's
my
harder
job.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bass is nothing. It's nothing.
It's like, well, I think when it comes to bass,
Yeah.
like that is one of like when you're a guitar player,
Mhm.
you have to be a good guitar player,
Mhm.
otherwise everybody's
Well,
going to know you're
no,
a
that you
terrible
suck.
guitar player, right?
Yeah.
But when you're a good bass player, a lot
Mhm.
of times people don't realize it unless
Mhm.
they're paying attention, because
Mhm.
the bass can just literally play the same thing as the top 4 strings of the guitar. You know? And-
Okay.
and
Yeah,
because
the
that's all
guitar
they've
is
got.
6 strings.
Right, that's all
Right.
they've got.
Right.
But if it's a good bass player,
Right.
they're taking the rhythm that the drums are making
Mm.
and playing to that rhythm, but
Mm.
taking the notes that the instruments are playing and
Right.
tying the two together. They're like the glue that sticks the rhythm and the musical side of things
I think
sort of
Okay.
together.
it's one of the most fun instruments to play, in my
Is it?
opinion, because
Yeah.
I've messed around with other ones. I'm not good enough to play them in front of people. Maybe the acoustic guitar one time when I was drunk with Matt.
yeah, it
But
worked.
you know, I've rehearsed that song like a lot
Yeah.
too. But I really just love that interaction between like the drummer and being with the groove,
Yeah.
and then kind of going off, like Matt said, going off on
Mhm.
like tangents with the guitar
Mhm.
players and kind of echoing melodies or harmonizing with people. You get to really just be like the bridge in the band. You get to kind of like be in every aspect. You get to be sonically melodic
Right.
and rhythmically like driving. So it's kind
Right.
of cool. You get to, and you have support from all those sides too,
Yeah.
because the drummer he's the anchor. He's holding
Yeah.
it down. He or she is
Yeah.
holding it down.
Yep.
Guitar players are up there, you know, creating the context for the listener to like to
Mhm.
grasp onto. But
Mhm.
honestly, I would say if you don't understand rhythm well,
Mhm.
it will show in your bass
Yeah,
playing.
yeah.
If you can't be on time,
yeah.
you'll fuck up a song
Yeah.
bad. Like,
Mhm.
so that's an aspect. Yeah, guitar gets more scrutiny,
Mhm.
but if you can
Bass
be
is
a
just like
lower
so
effort bass player, but
Mhm.
yeah, you got to have rhythm. You got to have groove. Some of the best
Mhm.
bass players don't even play complicated shit. They just
Right.
groove so well.
Right.
They're just like in the pocket, you know.
Right. Yeah.
But honestly, they're, you know, and that comes with its own physical challenges because
Right.
the strings are thicker, so it's a different
Mhm.
kind of feeling.
Mhm.
And then if you want to play with no pick, you know, on your right hand,
Mhm.
that's a different technique.
I can imagine that's tough though, like with no pick. I mean, you know, like it's brutal on your
It's like-
fingers. I mean,
it's
when you
its
get
own
used to it, I'm
technique.
yeah,
sure.
it takes time. Yeah.
Right.
I don't
Right.
really even
Right.
have many calluses, honestly. Like I
Mhm.
have this flick back technique where I do one strum and I flick back with my finger. I picked it up from watching Geddy Lee do it. I
Okay,
was like, oh,
that's
shit.
right. Yep, Rush.
Yeah.
Rush is your
I
favorite.
love Rush. Yeah.
JP.
There we go. All the
Judas
way.
Priest.
All the
Yes,
way.
indeed. Yeah. But there's a speaking of bass, there's a band from the 80s.
Mhm.
The 80s. They were poppy, but I love Level 42. They had a
Level
yes,
42.
they had a
What's-
bass player. A lot of their songs are bass heavy.
What's their hits?
Their
Like-
hit, one of their biggest hits is a song called "Something About You."
Okay.
Oh, we're gonna
listen
play
to
that.
it.
at the
Oh
end.
yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna say yeah.
yeah.
I'll
But
write it down.
their
That's
songs are bass heavy,
Yeah.
and they're one of my favorite 80s pop bands.
Cool.
But I mean, I love, like I told you, I love music. I love all
yeah,
kinds of
yeah,
music.
yeah.
But my first concert was a Def Leppard concert, believe it or not.
No kidding.
1992. I was 16 years old,
Damn.
down in downtown Baltimore at the arena.
Cool.
called
Did he have both arms or just one?
He won.
He just one
Yeah, 'cause,
arm?
you know, he
yeah.
lost that arm in
Yeah.
the early 80s.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
right
yeah.
before Pyromania.
Mhm.
It was like I think it was like right after High and Dry. It was between High and Dry and Pyromania.
Yeah.
They had
He
the
lost
story
it.
that it was the bus accident, but really his bandmates were like, we gotta stay
Well,
relevant.
well,
Something's
well,
got-
you know
something's
how-
gotta go.
It happened on a back road in Ireland, I think
Yeah.
Dublin, where
Yep.
and it was the craziest fucking thing. The seatbelt took his arm off.
Yep.
Did it really?
The
Yeah.
I didn't
seatbelt
know
took
that.
his arm off.
Damn.
Yes,
Real
it
safe.
did. Yep.
I'm never wearing
right.
one again.
Right.
I'll tell you what, I'm not gonna end up like that.
That's right.
Yeah, but some asshole was going right by him, and you know, and I think he was young and impetuous, and
Yeah,
he
of course.
tried to speed up to the guy,
Right.
and lo and behold, you know, unfortunately, his car flipped a few times,
Right.
and his arm was
That was
He
it.
gone.
That
didn't
was
get
it.
that
They
Morgan
tried to
Freeman
save
treatment.
it, but it
See ya.
you know,
Yeah.
it just, but you know, he's been without it for 35 plus years. So,
Yeah, oh,
you
yeah.
know, but you know, so he's
He can
used to
play
it.
he can play drums and scratch his back at the
That's
same
a,
time.
man. I'll tell you, that's
Yeah.
some.
He's
that's
already-
That's a
Yeah.
weird setup he's
I
got too.
swear, and it was the feet, the pedals.
Oh
you
man,
know.
he's got like
Yeah.
4 of them down there. It's
yeah.
crazy.
I mean,
yeah.
they called him the Thunder God.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
but he was. I mean, I love their music, and you know,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you know, back then it was the battle of the band between them and Bon Jovi.
Sure.
Def Leppard for me all day, every day.
Mhm.
Love
But
him.
see, Juan,
Love
it's never
him.
too late. He's got one arm and
It's
he's
not-
playing drums.
Yeah.
You could totally, you already
Yeah.
got an advantage. You're
Yeah.
gonna be better than him
I
in
mean,
like 2
shit,
weeks.
Well, look, and it's in me, you know, my grand. You're nuts. You're nuts. You're nuts. You're crazy. but you know, and it's in me. My grandfather was a musician.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that's probably why I've always had an
Cool.
inclination to,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
play.
I'm
Right,
telling
right.
you, man,
You know,
if you're in
because-
some of
yep.
the arts, I've
Yep.
dabbled in like almost all of them except for the
Mhm.
black arts. But Matt's got his.
I've got
hands in
that
the-
nailed
in
down.
that.
Yeah, I take care of it for the both of us.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah.
I've dabbled in all of them because they're all interesting to me. You know, I
Right.
mean, like when our
Mhm.
friend was doing the films and stuff, I was like, yeah, I want to act. That sounds cool.
Right.
Like,
Sure.
what's that about?
So both of y'all have experience behind the camera or in front of the camera?
Oh yeah.
and
get
behind
outta
the
here,
camera too.
Bob.
Matt's filmed some stuff. Not
You-
nothing
wait a minute,
professional or
did you do this
anything,
with the
but
stash?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, I trimmed it up. I made it real
did.
like real small because
Okay.
that's always
Yeah.
always how
Oh,
they did
yeah.
them up, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like something's on
Yeah.
your lip there. Yeah, it's my mustache. Yeah, yeah, it was great. Oh yeah, we did the whole
Get
9
outta
yards.
here.
Yeah, I was
So
a
hammy.
plumber too. It was the classic setup. I was there to fix the pipes.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
All
it was
right.
good.
Yeah,
it was real
but
good.
yeah, check them out though. I'm level for. I mean, I love them. There's so many.
we're all gonna check them out at the end of the
Yeah,
episode.
yes,
when
we
I watch,
are.
yes,
Yeah.
indeed. When I watch the videos, and it just takes me back to a time when I was a kid and
That's
growing
the
up,
best
and there
part.
was a band called Johnny Hates Jazz from the '80s.
Mhm.
They had a song called Shattered Dreams. Now you're giving me nothing but shattered.
Yes, I know
dreams,
that song.
Shattered Dreams.
Yes, I know that song.
Feels like I could. Oh God, I can't sing.
Give it one. Do it.
From
Yes.
this
It's better than me, Juan.
Yeah. Juan, you
Yep.
want to be in a band with me?
Uh,
You can learn the bass.
Boom, boom.
You can do the bass. I'm telling you.
So, but yeah, there are a lot of just a ton of bands, and you know, and even like the '90s came in and music changed. You know,
Yeah.
grunge came in.
Oh
and,
yeah, yeah.
You know, did away with hair bands.
Yep.
You know, but you know, a few metal hair bands kind of stuck it out,
Mhm.
but grunge basically killed that.
Of course.
Yeah, as far as like the
You know,
popular, the
yeah.
zeitgeist, yeah, it took
Yeah.
it took full front and center stage,
Yep.
and you had all their imitators and
Yep.
all just the genre of
Yep.
that, you know.
Yep.
Like, which going back to it at the time, I was kind of like, no, I'm not about that. I like
Right.
the proggy 80s, like synthy shit,
Right.
you know, and the poppy stuff.
Mhm.
But going back now, I kind of
Mhm.
appreciate some of it for what it is. Like
Yeah.
learning some STP,
Mhm.
like some
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
talk about bass line. That is
Leave
hidden fucking-
it. Yeah.
that is like some learning that I had no idea what he was doing.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
when I just listened to them songs.
Right.
But I was like, this guy is all over the place. He's like
Yeah.
fucking grooving and
Mhm.
moving around that neck.
Mhm.
Yeah, man, it's good shit. And
Yeah.
some of it is a little bit more.
Right.
Sometimes they kind of hit more on energy versus like technique.
Mhm.
But there's some good stuff in there.
Yeah. But I know that you go off of Judas Priest all day long,
Oh,
and you
every
go
day.
with
Yeah.
Brush all
Yep.
day long.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I gravitate towards like proggy stuff,
You do.
intricate stuff.
Mhm.
I like things that kind of occupy my brain a little bit. And, like
Sure.
if it's busy,
Yeah.
you know, I kind of enjoy it because
Mhm.
then I can like. I don't know, something about just my brain. I can focus better if if this up here is like occupied. It shuts up a
Right.
little bit.
Well, see, for me,
that's
that's
a multitasker.
it's
on
like
that note.
I
That's
get
right, yeah.
I get into that space where I either have to have a singer that
Mhm.
has a crazy range,
Mhm.
right? If, if they can go super high, like when
Right.
I first started hearing people do like whistle register, which is like
Yeah.
Mariah Carey
Oh
does that
yeah.
stuff. Right?
Oh yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
hearing other singers doing that stuff,
Uh-huh.
I was just like my brain turns off and it's just like,
Mhm.
what is going on? It's like watching a
Yes.
UFO come down. And then I've really over this past like 2 years
Mhm.
really gotten into like jazz
You have.
and some of the I think I love it because of the simplicity,
Mhm.
right? The structure is simple.
Mhm.
But then to see what people can throw into that
Sure.
really shows their musicianship.
Yep.
And it drives me up the wall. And I'm not talking like crazy like jazz where people are playing, you know,
Yeah.
goofy stuff. It's like it sounds like a bunch of people are just not
Yeah.
paying attention to each other. I
Right.
mean like something that's got a groove to it and
Yeah.
then they're doing crazy stuff on top.
Mhm.
I could listen to that all day.
But
long.
you when you sing,
Yeah.
are you more comfortable singing high than low? Can
It-
you
it-
go like really low, or are you?
Yeah, I've got at my best,
Mhm.
I have 8 octaves. So I can go real high and I can go real low.
Right.
But it's all a matter of the structure of the song
Yeah.
because the part like my vocal cords can do quite a bit of gymnastics,
Wow.
but my lungs can't always keep up with those
Yeah.
gymnastics.
Yeah.
And so that's the challenge of it. Like
Mhm.
back when we did the unoriginals and stuff, we were doing
Mhm.
3-hour sets.
Wow.
You know, and so we would pick these songs and I'd say we got to do this song in the second set because by the time we get to
You
the
won't
third
be
one
able to-
my lungs are going to
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
completely exhausted. I'm not going to be able to get the
Right.
air out, you know.
Mhm.
And so it's not that I can't sing the song, it's just
Right.
I can't sing it after doing these other 12 songs in front of it, you know,
right.
sort of thing.
It's a very music is a very physical thing too.
It is.
It's
Yeah,
an
big
athletic
time.
kind
Sure
of
it
And
thing.
you don't
is.
realize it
Yeah,
until you get up
is.
there.
Yeah, and you got to come from your diaphragm
It's
and
big.
bring it out. And,
Yeah, even just
Yeah.
playing your instruments, like
Yeah.
your hands, you know, you got to make sure that that you're
Yeah.
limbered up,
Right.
that you're, you know,
Yeah.
and then you
Yeah.
know you're sweating up there, and you know
Mhm.
if you're moving around
It's
a whole lot.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
a lot.
I wouldn't do it with Prince Diamond. I wouldn't be doing more than an hour set.
Yeah.
I can't be playing those songs more than an hour at a
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I need
Yeah,
a
they
break.
They get tricky. But yeah, it's cool because, you know, it gives you the opportunity, you know, because as I've talked about before, like I started doing Sinatra stuff,
Mhm.
which is
I know.
very
I
laid
know.
back,
Yeah.
very laid back,
Yeah.
and very, you know, I could sit here and drink Jack all day long, you know, just be sipping
Yeah.
that the whole time,
Yeah.
and whatever comes up, it's easy.
Mhm.
And even if you mess up stuff, you just kind of turn it into, as long as the story that you're singing about matches up with the gist of the song,
Right.
nobody really cares, and they're not
Right.
none the wiser, and they think it's a cute little like personal touch. It's like, no, I
Mhm.
just messed it up
Right.
and turned it into my own story.
Yeah.
But when it comes to stuff that is acrobatic,
Mhm.
you know, that's
Vocal
when
acrobats.
you really get into that
Yep.
space where you have to
Yep.
you have to plan, like some of the, especially when I first listened to King Diamond, I hated King Diamond. I
Mhm.
could not
It's a
stand
lot
the
of
music.
people's first impressions.
Yeah,
of
yeah,
that.
yeah. And so because it's all this what sounds like falsetto,
Mhm.
which I thought it was falsetto, even
Mhm.
with my ear. I thought it was falsetto until I started doing it, and I was like,
Mhm.
wait a minute, no,
It ain't.
you know. But you have to make these conscious breaths. Like you have 2 beats to take a breath,
Mhm.
and if you miss that, if you're like, I'm really feeling this line and I want to
Mhm.
hold this note longer,
Right.
you miss that beat, you're not
You're
going to
not
be
gonna
able to
do
finish
it.
the next verse. You know,
Mhm.
so that kind of thing. Like it almost becomes methodical, where you have to train not only the rhythm of
Mhm.
what you're singing, but the rhythm of your breathing. Of
Mhm.
okay, now I have time to take a breath, kind of thing.
Mhm.
And it really is.
Mhm.
It's I enjoy it because it's a
Mhm.
challenge. It's that
Mhm.
that sort of puzzle that you have to solve of how
Mhm.
can I pull this off.
Mhm.
And the fun part is a lot of it is stuff that the original band hasn't even pulled off live.
Mhm.
So that's even more fun.
Mhm.
Art is kind of interesting in the way that it's a lot of problem solving.
Yeah,
Mhm.
big time.
Creative
Yeah,
problem
yeah,
solving.
Yep.
right,
Yep.
yeah. So
And when this with the hard metal and things like that, when you all sing the heavy metal and you have to scream a lot,
yeah.
that's taxing, I'm sure, on your vocal cords.
Believe it or not, it
and,
all
you know.
depends upon where it sits. Because if it's the high stuff,
Yeah.
it's really easy. Because
Mhm.
I learned how to do that whistle register. Actually, believe it or not, from my physics teacher.
Okay.
So Mr. Spees,
Oh,
and
yeah.
so
Okay.
because he was like
Yeah.
a pack a day smoker.
Oh god.
And whenever he would get angry at the kids,
Mhm.
instead of like sometimes he would throw chalk at people, but normally he would just he would like do this really hard exhale,
Mhm.
and he would whistle.
Mhm.
And I remember the first
Because
time.
it's fucking
Yes, just because
his
all
larynx was all tight.
Yeah, from
it was
yellow.
coated in nicotine.
Yeah.
And so,
Mhm.
but first time I saw that, I was like, how did he do that?
Mhm.
And so I spent years and
Trying to
years
do it.
trying to figure out how to get my throat to sit in the right
Mhm.
spot to do that. But once I did that,
Mhm.
all of that high stuff is really easy to sing
Mhm.
because it's almost like I push myself up onto a shelf
Mhm.
and it's like I push my voice against a wall and all I have to do is push air through and then the right note stuff come out,
Yeah.
So it's the stuff that sits in the middle that's hard.
That's hard.
Between what's considered, chest voice and head voice.
Mhm.
And that transition is really challenging. That's
Mhm.
I have like two notes that I can't sing, like just air
Mm.
comes out.
Mhm.
But normally I can change the way that I'm approaching them.
Mhm.
And then
But you can fucking sing. I mean, even on like when you're joking, when I'm
Sure.
listening to the podcast and
Yeah,
he'll
yeah,
go into
yeah.
like, I'm like,
yeah.
you just have some people just have a natural
Sure.
innate gift to be able to sing. And, both of you guys are talented as hell
Thank
and
you.
musicians and,
About 1.5.
so, but we all, have our own talents and,
Yeah,
our
exactly.
thing
Yeah.
and it is what it is,
Exactly.
But my father always says, well, when you meet Denzel, tell him I said hi.
There you go.
Tell
That's
Denzel
it.
I said hello. So one day it just might happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
It just
It
might
really,
happen.
it really is, like you said, plugging away and
Yes.
constantly.
It's a
and
craft.
It's
that,
not
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's not because you want to meet Denzel. It's
No.
because you just
Right.
love to do it.
Absolutely.
No one's
Yeah.
going to stop you from doing it.
Yeah.
You love to
Nope.
be a part of it. I mean,
Absolutely.
that's
yeah.
why it doesn't matter if you
Yep.
get recognition or not.
Right, you just
Right.
Still
love
gonna
to
make
do it.
Yeah.
You love to do it, being on stage. Because I've seen, I would love to go to one of you, whenever you all start playing,
Yeah,
but I could tell watching you all on stage, it's it's just something that you all love to do.
It's a lot of fun to make other people have a good time.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
if they have a good time while you are,
Then
it's
it's
such a great experience.
icing on the cake.
Yeah. The thing,
totally
and
is.
I think between the bands, like especially all the bands that I've been in,
Mm-hmm.
the one like Prince Diamond is one of my favorite bands to perform
Mm-hmm.
because
It's theatrical.
the
Is it theatrical? The theatrics and
the
just
theatrics and the fact that the people who like it
Mhm.
love it.
Mhm.
They're like 1 billion
like-
% in,
Yeah.
as opposed to like the originals when we would play,
Mhm.
we would never really hit radio hits,
Mhm.
but we would do bands that you were familiar with that were
Right.
like their B-sides or something that was like the second single off the album, that kind of
Okay.
thing. So
Right.
you were kind of familiar, you'd heard it before, but
Mhm.
it wasn't like a main hit that you hear all
Right.
the time.
right.
And those sorts of things, people would be like, yeah, all right. And they might
Mhm.
get kind of excited at the beginning, but then they'd go back to their beer.
Right.
But
Right.
with Prince Diamond, when we start playing these
They
songs,
were all in.
people are screaming and like pushing against the stage,
Wow.
and we're singing a song that's never been on the radio ever.
And they knew it.
And then, but they know
They
that
know
song.
it.
Like I remember the first time I was doing sound for another band,
Mhm.
and we were playing this show, I think in Philly, and it was like in this warehouse that had been
Mhm.
shut down, and these guys had gotten into their, one of their relatives owned it or something like that,
Mhm.
and they turned it into a temporary venue.
Mhm.
And we were playing a show. They were playing a show. I was running the sound for it, and I was up in this loft that used to hold all of the compressors for the air conditioning units for the
Mhm.
building, right? And I'm up here filming everything,
Mhm.
and all of a sudden, this solitary guy
Mhm.
comes like slamming against the doors in the back of the room. I'm talking like he's banging into these doors, and then I don't know, he must have been having a good night, but then finally he rips these doors open. He rips through this crowd, this room full of people, up to the front of stage because they're covering this obscure song
that he knew.
And then after the show was over, he was talking to for like 25 minutes. He lives 4 blocks up. But because the show was so loud, he heard this song and he was like, "Oh my God!" And he left his house,
got out of his couch.
and he was like, "I don't know where this is happening," but and he came running in. And the moment that happened, I was like, "This is good. This is what I want. I want to see people go crazy over this weird song." And that's pretty much what we ended up doing, with Prince Diamond. Yeah, so it's neat. It's a lot of fun to get into the for me, because for me, everything's a performance, right? Because who I am, I would be happy sitting in a room by myself, and that's it, the end, And but when I get to go out, I get to be these different people,
absolutely,
right?
Characters.
And so all these different bands that we've done over the years, it's given me the opportunity, and I always make the conscious decision of I'm going to shift my character a little bit, right? And so getting to do this anytime I have a reference, so when we're covering another band, I try and pull in as much of that as I can, just to step into that character, because that in and of itself is sort of an act. And that for me is so rewarding, because then I get to explore those aspects of myself, vicariously through this character. And it's not only is it therapeutic, but it also sometimes can help me understand things about myself a little bit better. And so of course the crowd is always a part of that. That without a doubt is my favorite thing in life, is standing in front of a room and hearing, being like, "How's everybody doing tonight?" Or like, "Are you ready for this song?" Whatever it is, and hearing the whole crowd just like, roar back.
Nice.
That's
no,
turn it off. begging us to end the set. That's what it's all about.
And that's the makeup too.
The whole thing. Because if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And I mean, like when we did our live stream over quarantine, right? That whole when we did the 2 Ghost songs, we did 2 songs. I spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars just to put this costume together, and not even including all the lights and all the time that I put into building all the props and stuff. But I have no regrets about that whatsoever, because that's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to try it out, just to try it on for size. So it's that really is it. Once we find our craft, being able to look at it and say, "This is what I enjoy. This is the way that I feel like I can get the stuff side, out."
Exactly. And people, this art is an extension of yourself,
right?
And I've always wanted to, like I said, play an instrument, and I envy people who can play all instruments, like people like Prince, who can play a little bit of everything. That's a gift, that you have, that you can sit behind an instrument or play an instrument, and you're good at it, and write songs and produce and it's just amazing. It's amazing. But you two are songwriters too. Well, both of you are songwriters too, right?
Yeah.
So that's amazing.
Yeah,
but it's a craft.
It is.
I didn't write music until many years into playing.
Right.
I mean, I started playing like around like 17, and I didn't really like get into explore that aspect of it. And I didn't really play guitar until like years later. So I think, and like, my brother plays with us in bands. He's a guitar player. He's very multi-instrumental. And, he even plays drums, or he tries to like learn how to play drums and stuff too. He programs drums really well. He understands composition really well. But like, I don't think that's ever too late to like try different things. And
absolutely.
And it's like you might be very familiar with this one aspect of it.
Right.
You start over with something else, and then suddenly you have more of like a perspective, So I don't know. So it's just about how you want to spend your time.
Well, one of these days, you keep plugging away and something will happen, and I'm going to keep auditioning, keep submitting for, things. And hopefully there might be something in the pipeline.
If you do meet
Yeah.
Denzel, you
Yeah.
got to tell him that your dad doesn't like him. My dad hates you. I don't know why. He's just unreasonable. So-
Every time he sees you on screen, he wants to throw the TV out of the window.
That's right.
Yeah.
I can't
So-
tell you how many weeks of cartoons I missed growing up. Right out the window. That's it.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
but
it's good.
but-
That's it. That's it. That's
Yeah.
the beauty of art, though. I think.
Yeah.
Because, people talk about suffering for their art and all that kind of
yeah,
stuff.
but I
But-
mean,
It's
My art is
it-
suffering.
yeah, right?
Making
well,
you
it's-
suffer.
They just said it the wrong way.
Making
Yeah,
each
that's
other
all it
suffer.
was. That's all it
Yeah,
was.
but I mean, it's admirable who people who take on roles and totally embody the character, like go method and
Yeah,
on that. But that's heavy.
it is heavy.
That's heavy.
Yeah,
That's
because
heavy. And,
you
I
got
think
to
it's just-
detox that stuff
yeah,
afterwards.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
You're trying to
Sometimes it
be-
takes a lot to
Yeah,
you know,
take
you
that
gotta-
off.
Yeah, man. It's just
Mm.
I don't know if I can do it. But,
Yeah.
there's, there's blurry lines in there. I mean,
Mhm.
authenticity is one thing to
Mhm.
strive for, but
Mhm,
I don't know if I'm sure I've seen roles that are like super,
mhm,
gripping that
mhm.
there was no method acting going
Right.
on there. That person just
just
uses their skills.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
they're
you
in
just
the
hit
right
them right.
measure,
Yeah,
and also it's not, not just it's just like in
Mhm.
music and stuff too.
Mhm,
It's not a solo
Right.
endeavor.
mhm.
You have the editing, which creates the pacing. You can have
Mhm.
a great performance with terrible editing, and it makes
Mhm.
it look like shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or you have bad direction. You just
Mhm.
have bad cinematography.
Mhm,
I mean, what good cinematography and good editing and good direction can do
mhm.
can turn something pretty dog shit into,
Into something
pretty
good.
awesome.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
It's got to have
Absolutely, yeah.
vision. The collaboration of it.
Yeah, just like I mean, with the Evil Dead, they
Mhm.
they made that for no money.
Yeah.
And they were all inexperienced, and Sam Raimi had no experience, and Bruce
Yeah.
Campbell had no, but they went and made that movie for little to no money,
Mhm.
and it blew up. I mean,
Yeah.
because of the work they put into it, and the cinematography, and the
Mhm.
direction, and the editing, and the special effects,
Mm-hmm.
and just like with Halloween, and just a lot of low budget indie movies
Right.
just blew up because the effort that was put into it,
Yeah.
and it's
Having-
amazing.
Having vision, I
amazing.
guess there is
Yeah.
like certain levels of talent and stuff
Mhm.
like that. But I think that your art can always get elevated if you have the right people around you too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but like I said, we keep plugging away, and
Bond's going to be on your TV screens.
That's right.
Mark my
hopefully.
words, he will be on your TV
I'm,
screens.
I'm ready.
And
Yeah.
no sight of John Bernthal whatsoever. He's going to
God.
get cut from your.
That's
Mr.
what
Mr. American
That's what
Gigolo.
I'm
That's what
looking for.
That's what I'm waiting for.
yes,
baby.
he's gonna.
That's
I
cut
couldn't
him out.
believe it though. The show was good,
Yeah, yeah.
and I watched every episode.
Right.
Did not see myself, but I said, okay,
Yeah.
that's showbiz.
Yeah, that's it. That
Yeah.
is.
That's showbiz. I'll take it on the chin and keep moving.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
won't be cut out of this.
There you
Won't
go.
be cut
That's
out of
right.
this when
You
I'm here
got it.
tonight.
You got it. That's
I'm
right.
here
That's
tonight.
all about you
Yeah.
tonight.
But look,
That's right.
segue.
Yeah.
I know you want to get into weird.
No,
news,
we
yeah.
hey.
But
Got
look,
to.
have you? There's a couple of things. Did you hear about the bonus hole? I'll just say bonus hole. Did you hear about that?
I'm very intrigued.
Bonus hole.
Okay. With the new landscape we're in, where with trends and
Yeah,
everything,
sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Now it's being said that doctors are gonna start calling with trans men.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
The vagina a
Right.
bonus hole.
Oh.
Yeah, but a lot of people are up in arms about that because they're like, it's a vagina,
Right,
damn it.
right.
Everything has to be labeled or whatever.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
But some people are upset about it and up in arms about it. But we're in a time now where everybody gets so just pissed off and they
That's
blow
so
their
reactive.
time
Right,
out.
right.
Yeah,
It's almost like the reactive
I
emotion.
mean, I'm like,
is-
do you? I mean, I don't
Yeah.
think the doctors they're gonna actually start doing that.
Yeah, right. It's
But
not
you
going to
know,
go to the documentation.
Yeah, right. But it's just to make somebody appease your patient,
Sure.
who's
Yeah.
trans.
Yeah, yeah.
Instead of if it's a trans man,
Right.
he may not want it to be called a vagina.
Yeah, yeah, sure,
You
sure,
know,
right.
So
Wait, wait.
I-
To whom though? Like with the and just like colloquially or like with like
Just-
documented wise?
I think it's I don't know. I think it's
That's a good
documented.
question.
They're documented like
That's a good question.
I gave
Yeah.
him a
But,
bonus
but
hole.
That's
look
right.
it up.
That's right.
Look it
Yeah, you'll
up.
have to look
Read
it
up about it. But I was hearing
Jesus.
about it, and nothing shocks me nowadays. Though,
Sure.
But there's so much out there. Where people get upset about the littlest thing, and you can't
Right.
say anything anymore. You can't. Everything has to be so PC.
Yeah, yeah.
We're just in a different time.
Yeah,
We're in a
it
different
is.
time.
It is.
We
Yeah,
are.
for me, whenever it comes to a shaky situation, I
Yeah.
try and approach it with questions
Yeah, okay,
because then,
yep.
at the very least, I can be like,
Yep.
Is this what they call a bonus hole?
Right.
You know, sort of
I
thing.
approach
And
it
then,
with prejudice.
That's right.
Because it's different from me.
Our
I don't
family's
know what
called
this
this a
is.
vagina
It's
for
right.
300 years.
We're not gonna call it a damn bonus hole. It's a vagina. It's a vagina. What are they gonna think of next? What are they gonna start calling a penis?
That's
Do we
right,
want? We're gonna make a
exactly right.
bonus bathroom for him or what?
We
Right.
got the bonus
God
hole,
damn
the
it.
bonus pole, whatever you
Right.
got.
Exactly.
That's right.
That's a good one.
There we go.
Uh-oh.
We're making
I
money.
want-
making
I'll
But
tell
I
money.
you
heard
what.
it somewhere, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna bring that up."
That is.
If I don't
you
get
know.
the whole bonus this year for
Crazy.
with my rock award, I swear to God, I will create some bonus
Well,
holes.
you ain't. Did you get it yet?
I am not
If you
getting
didn't
it.
get it, it's
No, I'm
not
not getting
happening.
it.
That's right.
No, I don't stand out in any way. Remember, I'm under the radar.
That's right.
me.
Right.
I'm a ghost.
Keeping it gentle.
I'm a
Okay.
hole, but you don't know I'm there.
They
That's
tax
right.
the
I'm
shit
a
out of
You're
it.
the secret hole.
To the secret hole. Yeah, the under the radar.
If you
Yeah.
find me, I become the bonus hole. 'Cause
Yeah.
now you have access to me.
Yeah.
That's right. But you're still scared. Real scared. On the run.
I still
Yeah.
don't have an identity. I've got identity crisis.
Dun, 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 dun. Mission Impossible. You're
That's
ducking
right.
the
Yeah,
dog.
yeah. You're suspended from a wire.
Scared
guess-
of these lasers.
I guess this is what they call it. But I guess this is what they call some weird news.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna go to the restroom.
Go
I
for it.
pounded these drinks.
I know.
Keep-
I
keep it
haven't broken the seal yet, and I had two of these already.
There you go.
Yeah. It is so trippy though being in the lab.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Now I can see the inner workings.
That's
of
right. You
Matt
get to
and
see
Matt.
what's going on. Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Behind
Yes,
the
indeed. Yeah.
scenes.
So now I see.
Mm.
Now I see. Yeah.
I gotta figure out where the damn
Mhm.
cursor is. Where in the hell is it? Come on now.
Oh. Got it.
There it is. There
Okay.
it is. All right.
All right.
Now we gotta get this all queued up.
Mm-hmm. So you said you're going to tomorrow. You're going on a
see
trip
my
into
niece.
your niece,
Yep.
and then what else you have planned for the summer? Anything or just
Oh,
couple of
there's-
things?
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
yeah,
Yeah, always lots going on.
yeah.
The next. So then we've got in August.
Mm-hmm.
Will be the second weekend of August. Kara and I have our big expo that we run. We have like
Nice.
100 plus vendors out there.
Awesome. That's
Yeah.
that's a big deal.
It's a big deal. It's at
Yeah.
the York Fairgrounds.
Okay.
And
Okay.
yeah, so that's always a big undertaking. So we're
Mm.
constantly pretty much from March onward. We're doing
prepare.
yeah.
Yeah.
Send event letters out to vendors and getting
Wow.
everything booked, taken care of and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. But yeah, then handling all the money from everything,
Yeah.
getting it all organized, making sure
Yeah.
everybody tells us what they want so
Yeah.
they don't show up and be like, well, I wanted this thing,
Right. Right.
all that kind of stuff. So
Right.
that's a big focus. That and
Mhm.
just run the business
Yeah.
and all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff.
Good times.
But yeah,
Good
yeah,
times.
it just keeps us, keeps us
Mhm.
busy with everything.
Yeah.
As we do.
Well, my summer is very busy, not busy.
Yeah, sure.
No, but I'm looking forward to maybe getting to a couple of projects, including this. Hopefully, something that's coming down the pipe, this commercial.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna take it easy and try not to overwork and overtire myself.
Right, that's it.
Just because like I said, I'm getting a little older, and I'm just trying to stay healthy and maintain.
That's what it's all about. The
so-
more you can get into that
Yep.
space of like homeostasis, where you can
Yep.
just keep the ball rolling,
Absolutely,
a steady pace. Yeah, because
absolutely.
I'm right now I'm burning the candle at both ends
I
and
can
from the middle,
imagine.
and
I
so
can
it's
imagine.
just I got
I can
nothing but wick
imagine, yeah.
left, and it's just
Yeah,
making
man,
a big
it's
old
tough.
mess, and that
It's
wax
tough.
is
It's
dripping
tough.
right on me.
It's tough. But I said for the big I want to start going places and doing more traveling. So
yeah,
for the 50th, I want to go overseas. I want to go to Europe. I
yeah,
want to go
man.
to a couple of different places. So
Yeah,
in a few
you can-
years.
You
What do
can
you-
tour
do you
Europe
have
for,
anywhere
like-
in mind?
Oh
in
yeah,
particular?
absolutely. Greece for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh,
I have a checklist, like a mental
Yeah.
checklist: Greece, Italy,
yes.
Egypt,
yeah.
Africa. I'm talking like major.
Come on, come on, man.
Africa,
Yeah.
I've taken a cruise before, like I would love to do a Mediterranean cruise,
Yeah.
like to do a whole bunch at one time.
Mhm.
But that's a goal of mine, and I have a few years to blow,
Yeah,
blow
man.
the dust off of my passport.
Yeah, there you
and
go.
Do it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
You
you
only
sh-
go around. Well, I don't say YOLO because you live
Yeah,
every
right.
day.
Yeah, right.
You only
That's it.
die
That's-
once.
There you go.
You
That's
only
it.
die
Memento
once.
mori.
I hope
Memento
so,
mori.
anyway.
Yeah, so,
I don't have to go
yeah.
through it again, again and again, baby.
Yep.
But that's my goal for the next couple of
Yeah,
years. That's
man.
my
That'd be
my aim.
awesome. It's totally
Mhm.
doable. And
That's
you
the
got
way to do
great
And
it.
do
food.
vlogging and vlogging and
Mhm.
of the trip.
Oh,
Yeah, man.
beautiful thing.
Post it.
Beautiful thing. That's
Oh.
it. Yeah.
Man,
Yeah,
our
man.
friends Jesse and Steph just went across the country to where'd they go? Like
Out west, I
Washington?
know.
Washington,
Yeah, I think they did. Yeah.
Wisconsin, not Wisconsin, was it?
Just like a road trip.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they-
They took a
Nice.
road trip and went across the country, and
Nice.
their pictures were like
Nice.
fucking professional pictures from their
Wow.
phones.
Wow.
Like it was incredible looking.
Wow.
It just made me want to be like, oh, I'm going over there next. You know,
Yeah.
Nice.
It's
Nice.
certain places. Like when I was in Hawaii,
Mhm.
like every picture I was
Yeah.
taking, I was like, this looks like a screensaver.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And you start to realize, oh, okay, it's not so much about the picture as
Right.
much as it is the
The
landscape. You
scenery.
know, the
and
scenery.
I know that if you could pick up and put a scenery in Hawaii and put it in your backyard,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
would have.
right.
Because I
Oh,
can
yeah.
imagine it's beautiful.
Oh my God.
I
It's
can
just
imagine it
the,
is.
the vivid colors. It
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
feel real when you're there. Like
Mhm.
it looks like a movie.
I can
You know,
imagine.
because so many
Yep.
movies, of course, have been shot there.
Yeah.
But like it's the
Yeah.
like seeing flowers. Like I've never seen a flower that red, or like
Yeah.
a tree that's that
Right.
huge, or whatever it is. That bird, I've never seen that bird. You know? So that it was just like that
Everything.
novelty.
I've never seen that guy.
I've never seen this guy before. Yeah,
I've never seen an active volcano. Look out! Yeah, yeah,
yeah. It's
yeah.
it's just really it's
Yeah.
wild getting into those like
Yeah.
sceneries that are so
I can
foreign.
imagine.
You know.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
but yeah, there's certain places I
Mhm.
would
Mhm.
practically everything you just listed.
Yeah.
Like Italy's on my list,
Oh
and
yeah.
so is
Well,
Greece.
that's
I want to see.
Italian
Yeah, of
guys,
course.
right?
Yeah, we definitely got
Yeah.
it. Yeah, so I want to see. I want to go to the old temples and stuff in
Mhm.
Greece. I
Oh
want to
yeah,
see
man.
the ruins and things. I really would
Talk
love to
about
see all that.
architecture and
Oh.
then historical, just landscapes and
Oh my
architecture
God.
and buildings and
Yeah.
beautiful. It's beautiful, and a lot
Yeah.
of movies have been filmed in Greece too.
Yes,
And it's just a beautiful place.
Yeah.
It's just a beautiful place.
Yeah.
I mean, just to look at it on TV, it's nothing like, I'm sure, being there in person.
Right.
Yeah.
But I would just love it. I mean, I've been to Canada. I've been on a cruise to St. Martin and just a few tropical places.
Mhm.
But I've been to a lot of different states in LA and New York and I've been to a few places. I've been to Wyoming, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
The Cowboys, with the
Yeah.
Cowboys and
Right.
Cowgirls.
Right.
But there's a lot of places that I still have not been to yet,
Sure.
and I want to make it happen.
Yeah,
Make it
yeah,
happen.
man.
Wanna
Yeah,
make it
especially
happen.
going overseas. Going to
Yep.
see that much history.
Oh yes,
in this
indeed.
country, it's
Yes,
funny.
indeed.
Like we don't realize we've only got like 300 years of history here.
Yeah,
I
That's
know
like-
this is a young
yeah,
country.
Yeah, we talk
You know?
about old
Yeah.
houses and old buildings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some-
He's
and all that
overseas
shit's
over
and
there.
it's-
You're talking thousands.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
100%.
Yeah.
These buildings over here, old buildings over here, are nothing.
Yeah,
Compared,
nothing.
I mean,
Yeah.
compare in comparison.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's
Yeah.
beautiful, man.
Yeah, one of these days.
Yeah.
One of these days. And Egypt too. Oh,
Yes, indeed.
Yeah,
The
Egypt-
pyramids.
Egypt would be
oh
so
my
cool.
God.
Oh man.
Just to check all of that
Yes,
out.
indeed.
And
Yes, indeed.
I have a friend, Abdul, who grew up in Egypt.
Wow.
So he always told me, he said, if you ever go,
Mhm.
let me know because
Mhm.
I still have family over there, and
That's
they'll
excellent.
take you around a little,
That's
that kind of thing.
excellent.
So that's what I
Yeah.
love. I love having those little inns,
Yeah.
to be able to experience those
Right.
aspects of things. Because
Yeah.
that was the same thing when we were in Hawaii.
Mhm.
Because Kara's been there twice already. When,
Okay.
So she already had some friend groups over there, and so
Yeah.
we went and hung out with them, and they were like, "Oh
Nice.
yeah, let me show you this place, take you that place,"
Right.
and made some fantastic discoveries of
awesome.
our own. Just going down these little places that the tourists don't go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that
Well, I remember you
It's a
told
value.
about
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of the places you all went.
the banana.
I can imagine.
That banana ice cream.
Oh
Oh,
man.
that's
Oh,
that was a
gosh.
monumental moment
I
right
can
there.
imagine.
But yeah, it's great.
can
It really
imagine.
is cool to get to experience these
Yes.
things that
Yes.
have that much history. I mean,
Yep.
even like when we were there, we drove past like Pearl Harbor and stuff like that.
Wow.
We went to a
Yep.
farmer's market outside of the
Nice.
harbor there, and it's just like that's where it all happened.
That's
Like,
where it
You know,
happened.
like looking at the sky and be like, can you
Mhm.
imagine
Oh,
the
the
day? you know?
farmers market.
Yeah, like this is
That's
this
where it all
farmer's market is the where it
Yeah.
all happened. Yeah,
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
sweet
yeah.
potatoes got smashed
these,
all on the
these were
ground.
gone, incinerated. Yeah, it's just it's just wild
Yeah.
to go to those places
Yeah.
and to be able to witness that stuff.
Yep. Yeah.
It really is. I would absolutely love to do that
To
too.
go
It's-
again.
yeah, man.
And Gervasi, you've been out of the country before? Or
Mm,
no.
I have not.
Okay.
No,
have you
no.
been out west? How many
The
places
furthest?
have you been?
So I used to go to Texas a lot.
yeah.
But the furthest west I've gone is now San Diego from the end
Okay.
of last year. So
Right.
Allison and I went there because
Right, y'all
she
did.
had that
Yeah, I
she had
remember.
that continuing education. So we kind of made a
Right.
trip out of it.
Nice. Nice.
which was really cool. It was it was really cool to watch like the sunset on the West Coast.
Yeah,
over
it
the
is.
Pacific
Beautiful.
and stuff. It's like,
Beautiful.
holy shit, this is like a
Beautiful.
whole different thing to see with your own eyes.
Yeah.
It was
It
cool. It was really
beautiful.
cool. I really
Yeah.
want to go to LA.
It's nice.
hoping
it's like you know
That
like you
G Tom will host me over
Come
there
on,
at some point or
G-Tom.
another.
Yes.
Would love to go out there just to see it, just because of the love of like cinema and to see
Yeah.
old Hollywood and
Oh
like
yeah.
all that, all that
Uh-huh.
history, all that movie history.
I'm
Yeah.
going straight to the valley. That's where
Yeah.
I'm going. I'm
Yes,
going. I'm
indeed.
going down.
and I
in
can
the
just
valley,
camp out
baby.
in a tent, right?
I already have my credit. I already have my credit. I was already a porn star. So
That's right.
That's it.
That's all you need.
That's all I need. That's all I
you
need.
need.
I already have my experience. That's all I
Yep.
needed.
That's all you need.
But yeah, I definitely want to hit the
Yeah.
Mediterranean out that way too.
Mhm.
Like Allison and I've talked about going to Italy. I have a
Nice.
couple of cousins that go there like regularly,
Wow.
and they say it's awesome.
I can imagine.
It's just
I
like
can imagine.
so they've got a little bit of experience going.
Mhm.
I know Allison's sister went there too, like
Wow.
by herself one time.
Nice.
But Allison's been to South Africa. She did
traveled.
like she did
Mhm.
some like work out there.
Mhm.
Like working on fucking tigers and shit like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like weird, like crazy shit. Yeah, Allison's done all
Awesome.
kinds of crazy things, man.
Daredevil.
Yeah, she yeah, a little bit. She jumped out of a plane before,
Good grief.
like that kind of stuff.
Kilimanjaro. Did she ever scale the mountains and stuff?
No, but she did Chickies Rock.
Oh,
There's
sure.
this big old rock face like as you go across the bridge to towards Lancaster.
Mhm.
She climbed that whole thing with a group of people.
Get out of here.
Yeah,
That's
I
it,
was like,
you
what the fuck?
Wow.
Just gotta stretch it out. Sometimes
Yeah.
you gotta you had a week in front of the computer and you just need to stretch out your shoulders
Yeah,
a little bit.
stretch it out.
Yeah, climb up a
Climbing
mountain. Climb a mountain.
climb
What the
a
hell?
mountain,
What the hell, right?
Yep. So, but I don't let the grass grow under your feet.
That's
all.
it.
That's
there
right.
you go.
Do
That's right.
things.
That's
Get out.
right.
It's a big world.
That's
Go
right.
live.
Start making moves. That's
Yeah.
it.
It's older than us, but like we're only here for a brief period
Yep.
of time. Go look at it.
Go look at it.
Go look at this shit.
Absolutely.
Touch it.
That's it. And until then,
Try it.
look up.
That's right. Look out.
Look up.
Look out.
It's
It's
weird news.
It's weird news. If it starts any minute now.
Come
Any
on,
minute
weird news.
now.
Let's
Someday.
go.
Normally this goes a lot faster because it's already ready.
someday.
This computer is going to be ready.
Mhm.
This is going to go
So
soon.
that's what Matt is looking at.
This is
when
what I'm
he's trying
always
to
looking
get
Yeah.
at.
to
Like, come on
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Come on now, little
We're
baby.
just staring at this bullshit. And we're
Yeah,
just like,
yeah, right.
and this is I keep track of the episode, like the bottom right corner there.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
So
a
usually when
timestamp.
we hit, because
Oh.
this is a special occasion one, but
Okay.
usually it hits like 30 minutes. I'm like, oh, it's time to
Yeah.
get ready for weird.
Just like right now.
Help me, Allah! Ah!
Weird news on the Kickstarter, Matt.
Help me, Tom Cruise! Tom Cruise used the witchcraft on me to get the fire off me! Oh, help me, Oprah Winfrey! Ah!
A tarantula enjoys a fine chewing gum. The human torch is denied a bank loan. The arsonist has other shit.
And now with this week's weird news, here's Matt.
Hey, so here we go, everybody. It's weird news time. And once again, I know we always hit this, but we're going to hit it again right now. We're going to tell you that if you're not listening, if you're not tuning in live, okay,
You're missing out.
you're missing out. There's so much that goes on between when we say let's do some weird news
Mm-hmm.
and when the weird news intro plays.
It's like
There's
10
a
minutes.
whole other section there.
Mhm.
Sometimes Matt's taking a pee. Sometimes
I chugged three
sometimes-
liquid downs down so fast.
That you gotta go.
I'm about
That's
to
it, that's
bust.
it.
Yeah.
You got to get it done.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all there. You can go back and watch them. They're on YouTube. They're on Facebook.
Absolutely.
Whatever you got to do. Whatever you got to do. We stopped Instagram because Instagram is dumb and they don't
Yeah.
feature us. You know.
Yeah, fuck Instagram.
Whatever.
All right.
Whatever. Fix your shit and then we'll get back on there. How about
Absolutely.
that?
The
How about
platform
that?
of your choice, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right. Exactly right.
Except Instagram.
So let's get this visual up here for everybody. Juan, you get to see it on the big screen
I
this
do.
week, right? You get to see it right there in front of you, along with Matt,
Yep.
and you can see all of these
And you get to
weird
comment
pictures.
on it.
Oh
Yes,
man, this is
indeed.
In
going to
real
be it.
time.
This is
Yes,
going to be it.
indeed.
Okay, here we go. So for our first story, a Maine woman, not the Maine woman, a woman from
okay.
Maine. All right.
Okay.
Bonus hole lady.
Yes, exactly right. Lynn Kelly, who was 64 years old, was tending her garden in Porter, in Maine, of course, when her dog took off into the woods.
Oh, God.
Where'd she go? Barking at something
Mhm.
on a Friday. In short order, the dog was racing back to the yard with a black bear
What?
in hot pursuit.
Oh shit!
Man,
It's not like one of those like
Oh,
animated
God.
movies where they're best friends
No.
now.
No, this is definitely not a Fox and the Hound situation. Kelly stood and made herself appear large.
She didn't have to try hard.
She was doing A-okay. She had just gotten back from McDonald's, which was she had the Grimace burger, and so it's his birthday coming up. I think it might be over, but
That's just Grimace. Who's, he
yeah,
just hasn't.
that's just Grimace
showered
on the
off the
side.
dirt
Yeah,
yet.
it's just
That's
he's
him.
real dirty Grimace. So she made herself appear large, which is recommended with black bear.
Yep.
Black attack.
Yep.
Brown lay down.
Okay.
White you're dead. But instead of slowly retreating, they don't put that in the rhyme. See, that's the part you got to subscribe, to their channel to figure out the rest of the rhyme.
Right.
yes.
But instead of slowly retreating, she proceeded to confront the bear. Hey, you motherfucker!
What?
Yeah. Which is not recommended according
Oh my
to
God.
local fish and wildlife.
But she got high on the reaction it was having to
the
her.
bonus hole is in her head.
Yeah.
That's where it is. All her sins seep out of that bonus hole.
She's like, oh
Yeah.
my God, I know
Yeah.
this bear.
She's about to get several bonus holes
Yeah,
from the
absolutely.
claws of that motherfucker.
Absolutely.
She's about to
Yep.
get
That's
ripped
right.
up.
That's
Yes,
right.
indeed.
Oh man! Well, the bear. So she, so the bear then briefly latched onto Kelly's wrist.
Oh my God. Oh, no, it did a wrist lock to her.
Yeah.
It's Steven Seagal in a bear suit.
After she punched the animal in the nose.
Oh,
Get
my-
the fuck out of here.
Right?
Dude.
So
So wait, I love that it punched her in the nose and then it proceeded to do like a classic
no,
self-defense.
she punched
set up.
it in the
She
No, no,
nose.
punched it in her
that's what I'm
nose.
saying.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
looked
yeah.
at it and take her hand off.
It sure, yeah.
She punched him in the nose. The bear did the classic
Yeah.
self-defense setup
right,
where
right.
it grabbed her
Grab
wrist
hold,
and then
hand.
she's
grab
like,
hold.
I know how to do the thumb break lock.
That's right,
where
that's
you
right.
Pull on the weak spot.
That's
yeah,
right.
you
Nah.
get-
Nah.
Don't you
I'm
even
not
think
that
about
brave.
it.
That's
at
it.
all.
Yeah. No, and then
Mm.
and then clomped right down on there.
Oh, no.
Well, she received several stitches for the wound, but
It
it's
just like slashed at her arm. Or
but
something.
afterwards the bear released her and ran back into the forest.
He's just trying to shake her hand.
That's it. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is how we do it in the forest. It's rare for someone to be
Mhm.
bitten by a bear in Maine, even though the state has one of the largest black bear populations
Wow.
on the eastern
But,
seaboard.
but the black bears are generally like they're more
Yeah.
afraid of you than you are of them.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
the whole idea of being big.
But
you
I
know,
wa- I
to
wasn't
scare 'em
chance
away.
that.
No,
I
no,
wasn't
yeah,
chance
no,
that.
no, that's
How-
exactly
oh my
right.
God, they
Mm.
are fucking humongous.
Yeah,
They're
they
enormous.
stand up.
Holy
They're,
shit!
taller
yeah.
than that ceiling.
When
Yeah.
I was picking these pictures here, okay,
Mhm.
there was like 6 to choose from,
Mhm.
and this was the only one that had. This is the actual dog, by the way.
Oh,
bear-
he looks like
that-
a hyena.
that
kinda.
bear-
Battle
yeah,
dog.
that's-
Yeah,
He kind of
it's-
looks like a hyena. He's cute though, but he looks like a hyena.
He's got that part hyena. He's like, I can take
Yeah,
this bear.
yeah.
But that bear, I don't know if that's the actual bear. But there was one that had a black bear standing on its hind legs next to somebody, there was a gate between them,
Yeah.
and this person standing in front of them. This thing is like it's
gigantic.
enormous.
Those
Yep.
motherfuckers are like
Enormous.
7.5 feet
Yeah,
tall.
yeah.
on their hind
enormous.
legs.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
And they weigh like 600 or 700 pounds.
Yeah.
I,
almost
I
a
saw
ton.
it was funny
Mhm.
because after I got all this lined up, right, I was just sitting around scrolling through Instagram or whatever, and
Mhm.
somebody had a thing where there was a bear in this cage, right, and they pull up the gate. And
Mhm.
as they pulled up, they had a camera on a tripod in a
Mm.
field,
Mhm.
and they pulled the gate up, and they're like, "This is for all the people who think that they can fight a bear, whatever
Right.
kind of bear it was."
Right.
The
They
gate
throw a
comes up,
convicted felon out there. They're like, fight for your life.
Yeah. He goes running. The bear comes out of the cage looking like it's like on cocaine. Of course, yeah.
Mhm. Cocaine bear.
A cocaine bear, and it turns and it
No.
just turns straight towards the camera, and it just runs straight at it and tackles it. And then the rest of the video is the camera in the bear's mouth,
Oh my
just walking
God.
through the field. You know? So it's like if you see, make sure you follow the rhyme,
Yeah.
because one way or the other you're probably going to die. But you might as well utilize all of the possibilities you have at your advantage there.
I just start making peace with my death because
Yeah,
yeah.
it's gonna
if
go
I'm face
down.
to face with the bear, I don't think I'm making it out.
No.
Not much
No.
we can do here. Yeah, but
I'd like to tell.
so encounters with bears can be reduced by removing or securing bird feeders, garbage, pet food, and other things that attract bears' attention. So just keep that in mind as you're going forward. Okay.
Yeah.
Now that's the way that you take care of bears, but I can't really help you with this next one too much when it comes to roller coasters. A summer of amusement turned into a nightmare on Sunday
Oh,
after a roller coaster malfunctioned in midair.
Oh boy, it was one of these carnival joints, isn't it?
And it
worst
trapped
fear.
8 passengers upside down
No
for
way.
several hours.
Oh my
Freaking
fucking
way.
God! No,
No
thank you.
freaking way. No
Yeah.
way.
I'll just unbuckle and get the fuck out. I'm-
Yeah.
I'm just going to end it now.
Yeah, just end it down. End it down. Yeah,
So
there's no way.
the
No way.
oscillating fireball was just sliding down from its vertical loop at the Forest County Festival in Wisconsin when it suddenly stopped because of a mechanical failure, according to the joint press release. The
Oh,
emergency
no.
personnel were dispatched to the scene within 15 minutes. Great response time.
Yeah.
But needed to reset special equipment. Like,
Oh, great.
sorry, we forgot to reset this on the last.
I haven't recalibrated this in
run. I mean,
15 years, man.
Like, you guys got that paperwork? Let's see if we can figure out what this instruction manual has to say about all this. Well, they had to also request special equipment, including 3 ladder trucks from nearby towns to complete the
Oh,
rescue.
I'm seeing it now. This isn't just something in the background. This is the
No,
fire
this-
truck's
this-
ladder going
this is-
up to
yes,
the people.
yes.
Okay,
You
look,
can't let them go. But how long were they suspended like that upside down?
Several
I mean,
hours. I don't know. It's
no.
yeah, they're going to get
My
into the
God.
time
upwards
here.
of 3 hours then.
So get ready.
Oh no.
So one truck with a capacity of rising over 100 feet took approximately 45 minutes
Oh.
to arrive to the scene. After an off-duty firefighter with specialized rope rescue training happened to be at the festival,
Mhm.
of course.
He's like,
I
I gotta work. I'm supposed to be on vacation.
It's like I thought I had the day off. He advised local crews on possible options. Okay, so this is good. We've got an expert on the scene. That's
Right.
the kind of thing that we want. Due to
He's
the
like, well, you could get a ladder up there. You could climb up there.
It's like, well, I bet you if
Right.
we use the ladder, we can
We
get
get
up
up
there.
If we set it on
Yeah.
fire, it'll burn down to the ground.
We'll probably be able to catch him. Ace is here. Hey, Ace.
Ace.
Good to see you again, buddy.
Mm.
So the ladder trucks came by. Due to the release mechanism of safety equipment on individual cars, all individuals in a car need to be properly secured prior to the release of safety equipment, according to the fire department. Right. So basically, what they're saying is everybody's strapped in because they're upside down, but
Right.
because everybody is strapped in upside down, they can't get them out.
Right. Yeah.
That's sort
They
of the
can't
idea,
release
right?
the safety measures because everybody has to be in there.
Mhm. They
Yeah.
right, 'cause if
Yeah.
they
Oh my
do,
God.
It's a perfect storm. So the
My
complexity of
God.
operation meant that the first of the passengers was not safely back on the ground until about 3:20 p.m., roughly 2 hours after the ride had first gotten stuck.
That's like the best
Fuck
of the worst
that.
situation when you're the first one to get off of
Jesus.
that.
Right.
Yeah,
that
right,
thing.
yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
you're like,
Yeah.
this fucking sucks, but at least I'm the first one off.
Yeah.
It took another hour and 40 minutes to get all of the remaining passengers off.
Oh my
So they were
God.
in the air for 3 hours and
couldn't even
40
imagine.
minutes.
And that's always
upside
like
down.
yeah. When you go to a carnival, you think that's kind of like in the back of your mind
yeah.
that this could
Mhm.
happen.
Yeah.
But to have it actually happen,
Exactly.
and like suppose like what if you were like can you imagine the last person to get off? They were just like I would just be done.
Yeah,
I
that's
just
the
would
end
be
of
done.
That's the end of the
I'll
week
be
right
done.
there.
I'd
Yeah.
have cried all my tears and vomited all my food out by then. I would
And
have
it would be all over my
And
forehead.
it'll be all on my forehead. Yeah. No way. No way. Mm-mm.
Well, videos posted on social media show carnival workers grinding on metal, desperately trying to unstick
just
the
cutting their
coaster.
arms off so they can pull them through the
Just
the middle.
whatever we can do.
Jesus
Take them off at the shoulders. We'll
You want-
figure it out
You
later.
want out of this thing or not? You
That's-
can die up here. You
that's
can
right.
be armless.
Whatever
Pick
you want
one.
to do. They're giving them
Mm.
hot dogs and just drop it out of the bungs in the ground. Desperately trying to unstick the coaster as
No.
firemen on ladders talk calmly to the suspended passengers. Everything's fine.
Mm.
The world just turned upside down. You guys are right side up. Scott Brass, a carnival goer who watched the rescue unfold, told local news that 5 of the passengers appeared to be children.
Oh man.
So,
Of course.
so that means
Oh,
their
man.
hearts were far too weak to keep
Mm.
pumping blood through all of this. They were
They
unconscious.
want to pull their corpses down.
Well, one of them, a girl, told rescuers to unstrap an older man first because he was visibly struggling and
Mm.
appeared to have passed out at
Oh
one
man.
point.
Oh, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
gosh.
So there you go. Once on the ground, the passengers were offered treatments by teams from a total of 9 ambulances. One patient.
That was the most interesting thing going on that day.
And they were all fighting with each other over who's going to take care of them.
Come on.
No. This is our job. This is our job.
I got the lemon water.
We got to pay for this.
And the blankets.
Yeah, that's right.
From now on, the fireball enter at your own risk.
That's right. Yeah,
we can't promise you that you might, you're going to live. So if you're a daredevil and you like to take chances, get on the fireball.
We don't care how old you
We're
are.
keeping this ride open.
We're giving you a shot of fireball before you get on.
Exactly.
We don't care how old you are.
At your own risk.
That's right.
Ride the fireball. Why? Because fuck you. That's why. It's not changing a goddamn thing. I'm not changing a thing. You know how long it took me to set this thing up? 20 minutes.
I'll tell you what. And you realize how long it took me to save up for all this blue paint? This thing used to be red, bright red. Made people scared of it. Well, the operator told local rescue crews that the ride had been inspected on site by state authorities and the standard for safety was approved.
See, I'll tell you something. You won't find me on carnival rides anymore. One thing about getting older is I get more sense in this dumb little brain of mine.
Right.
And I know better. We have read too many stories where people get fucked up on these things. Well, of course, because they're breaking them down and they're taking them from town to town all summer long.
It's man-made. Anything man-made can break.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And it's there's always the greatest fear that can happen. And look at it.
Yeah.
I mean, you won't find me up there in that fucking shit.
No, I'm good.
The Ferris wheel is like, I know the Ferris wheel is probably like the safest one, but I fucking hate it. I hate getting suspended up in the up high like that and just being in a little basket up there. No.
Did you see the roller coaster in North Carolina that they put videos up on the internet?
Is it big?
It's the one where it cracked.
It's this huge one, and
I did
right
see
where
that.
the curl is. One of the somebody just
saw it.
right where the whole thing is like.
I saw that.
Like no thanks. So there you go. It's perfectly safe. It's perfectly 100% safe. Just like going to a nail salon. A man's attempt to rob an Atlanta nail salon last week didn't quite go as planned after the patrons basically ignored him. The unidentified suspect. The best part was I saw this video like the beginning of the week.
Yeah.
And then when this came up in Weird News, I was like, oh, yeah, I saw this video. And the first thing that I thought of when this guy walked into through this door, he's got this bag over his hand trying to pretend like he has a gun in there. And the minute that he walked in, I was like, this guy doesn't have a fucking gun. What is he talking about? Like, he's not even moving right. That he's got it. Well, he's
less threatening than that fireball.
Exactly right. Yeah, exactly. The unidentified suspect with his hand in the bag, as if he were holding a weapon, stormed into the Nail First salon on Monday, demanding money. Although the man shouted, "Everybody get down! Give me your money!"
Nobody did.
Right? Everyone basically ignored him. The salon owner even decided it was okay to answer the phone during the attempted robbery. We needed an appointment. With the customer casually.
Give me all your money. Yeah, we're open at 5 till 5.
This happens all the time.
Whatever.
Just ignore him. He'll go
That's
away.
right. It's just a weekday. So while the another customer casually stood up to go outside, the suspect snatched her phone as she walked out the door. Eventually, the humiliation appeared to be too much for him, and he left the salon in a silver-colored sedan.
In my opinion, this is the training video they need to show us at work when they have an active shooter.
Yes.
Because here's the beauty of it. These people all understood this common thing.
They're like,
you can panic, you can fight, you can run, whatever. But guess what? It's not going to change the situation you're in. You might as well just ignore it.
Just do it.
Fucking go along with it. Well, you're going to shoot me in the head? Fucking do it already. Stop talking about it and do something for once in your miserable life.
Now, is that the culprit? Who's that on the side?
So that's him there in the
He's
hat.
not like a person.
Okay.
That's him. So he walked in. This girl here with the mask over her chin, she turned to the left when he walked in, and she looked at him like, "What are you doing?" And then she turned back and started talking to this Asian lady. It's great. It's a great video to watch. And he stands there for a little bit, and then eventually she gets a phone call, and she stands up to walk outside to take the phone, and he takes the phone from her, and then she just walks outside anyway.
She just leaves.
She's just like, whatever.
He takes the phone from her. He's just mad that he's being ignored.
Like I'm trying to rob you. Yeah,
dumbass don't even have on a mask. You have on a mask, if you don't want to be. But they got your face all in the camera now.
Exactly.
You know what? And in this day and age, in this world,
right?
How the fuck are you going into places with CCTV
right.
without a mask that other people
Yes.
will not bat an eye at
Right.
anymore. I'll
Yeah.
tell you, the hardest thing to deal with at first when I was going into public was wearing a mask. I
Right.
felt like I was robbing everywhere
Right.
I went into.
'Cause you
I was like,
weren't-
should I ask for to empty the register,
Yeah.
or do I just
Yeah.
do I just go about my business?
Am I going to give you money or you're
Right,
going to give me money?
exactly. Yeah.
So why in the fuck is he not covering everything he can?
Right. That's what they did.
insane.
Bonus hole in the head.
So
That's right. That's it.
Lisa Barrow, a regular customer who was in the salon at the time of the attempted robbery, told the local news station that the owner was scared a little bit of the would-be robber, but didn't react because he didn't want his customers to worry. The suspect apparently is still loose as of yesterday. Not for much longer, though. I'm sure that's all going to be taken care of.
So are his marbles.
Yeah, that's
apparently.
it. That's right. Intelligence is running thin. Well, I'll tell you what else is running thin. Some of these terrible, terrible things. One of the world's most dangerous plants has arrived in the United Kingdom with a sting so strong it's been known to cause suicidal thoughts.
What the
Fuck outta
fuck?
here.
Right?
Well,
What?
you know, so is our jobs.
Wait,
but-
that's right. Exactly right. It's really any little nudge is enough to push us over the edge. This plant looks weird. I'm gonna kill myself.
It looks like Feed Me Seymour. It looks like one of those. What do you call it? Those things.
That's right. That's
Those-
the
Oh,
yeah.
piranha
Yeah.
plant
The-
type of
Yeah,
deal.
that's
that's
what
what
it
it looks
It's
like.
gonna have
Well,
a mouth on the end.
This
of it.
Yeah.
this particular one is called a gimpy gimpy.
Gimpy,
The
gimpy. That doesn't sound
gimpy-
threatening.
Yeah, no, exactly. The gimpy gimpy is so potent
Oh.
that it's been likened to being electrocuted
Damn.
and on fire
I-
at the same
Ain't
time.
I'm planting these all around the front of my house when
This
I buy
is-
one.
Hell yeah.
I'm done with fences.
Yeah.
Fences-
Gimpy,
Get you
gimpy
some
all
of
the
these.
way,
That's
baby.
right.
Get you
You
some
want
of
to
that.
come up to my door? You need to knock on my
You
door.
have
No,
to
that's
get
right.
past the gimpy
Covered
gimpy
it's
first.
covered in them
There ain't
gimpy
nothing
gimpies.
gimpy about this.
That's right.
the only thing
Nothing.
gimpy is going to be you. You're going to
Exactly.
be all
You got it.
in a
You got it.
pile on the floor.
Good grief.
Well, while the painful plant is usually kept in botanical gardens, one person decided to grow them in their own home.
Oh.
Okay. However, we would not recommend this as the venom has now been the gimpy gimpy has now found a new home at the poison garden where it's being kept under lock and key. So this is a particular garden that only carries poisonous plants. All right,
Okay.
I've heard of this place before.
Oh.
Who the fuck would work there?
You wanted to, Matt? Let Juan, you can guess on this too because you know you're tuned in. You know what's going on. Take a guess where this plant grows.
Australia.
You took the words
The
right out of
plant
my freaking
that
mouth.
usually grows
Yes.
in Australia.
I'm not going there.
No,
I'm not
in
going
order to
Australia.
survive,
I know. I mean, they got snakes everywhere.
Oh my God!
Cockroach,
Everything.
spiders and cockroaches the size of a freaking plate.
Everything,
dude.
everything.
the
And
majesty,
gimpy gimpy.
the majesty of the world can all stay where
Yeah.
that can stay over there. I'll be happy if I
Mm-mm.
die and never see Australia. I'm fine.
I'll
with
be
it.
good.
That's it.
I'm
Right.
good.
That's
Okay.
it. Yeah, yep. It's
I'm
great.
good.
I'll
I
look
had
it
a
up on-
feeling you were gonna say that.
That's it.
That's right.
Right from Australia.
Mm-mm.
It's more. It has more hubris to go to Australia and try to have a good time than those people who went down in the fucking submarine
look.
to go visit the
Oh,
Titanic,
let's-
looking through a
let's-
tiny
yes.
screen.
Let's take
Yeah.
a Darwinian approach here, right? The
Mm-mm.
idea is that the continent of Australia is filled with so many deadly things.
Mhm.
It had to become an even deadlier plant just to keep those deadly things from eating
Exactly.
it, right?
Yep.
I mean, it's just
It's gotta be like-
science. It's plain and cake.
Now I know it'll breed like a tough person,
Right.
but I'm not from there.
No.
Right,
And
no,
I don't
no,
have
no, no,
evolution's not on
Yeah.
my side.
Yeah,
No.
that's like you go to visit India or whatever, and you're sick for the first week. There's
Yeah.
no way around it. You're going to
Mhm.
be sick. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's because you're not used to all this stuff and the diseases and everything. Well, so this plant is part of the nettle family. Okay, so we have plenty of nettles around here. Stinging nettles are very big in the area, that kind of thing. But so when it was first discovered in 1866, a road surveyor's horse was reportedly stung, and the animal went mad before dying within 2 hours.
What the fuck?
Okay.
Man.
So, according to John Knox, the lead tour guide at the Poison Garden, the plant's tiny hair-like needles send a burning sensation through the victim, with the pain intensifying over the next 20 to 30 minutes, continuing for up to weeks or months.
Oh,
What
no.
the fuck? Oh
Uh-uh.
my god!
Mm-mm. Can't even imagine.
So
Oh my
this
God.
this can happen if you simply brush up against it for a second, with the expert likening the experience to being electrocuted and set on fire at the same time. People have also reported being sent into experiencing huge red rashes, having their limbs swell up, and having been left unable to sleep due to unbearable pain. Okay.
Oh no.
So there's even been one at least reported case of suicide where a man shot himself because he was in so much pain
Oh my. From that little plant.
from touching this
I wonder
plant
why I was buying
briefly.
a fucking
right?
glass case.
There you go. That's right. Yeah, it's got to be. Got to
Oh,
be.
no.
Well, so with the unexpected title came the magnificent Alnwick Castle, which you may have heard of about in the Harry Potter films. They talk about its grounds. With Percy's husband tasking and bringing a new life into the gardens, all that kind of stuff. I thought that this was an interesting way to get children curious about the dangers of different types of plants, aka how to scar them for the rest of their life to never eat salad.
I thought
Yeah.
showing these kids the most dangerous plants in the world might get them interested
Right.
in plants
Give him a
finally.
green
Yeah,
thumb.
right, exactly. So the garden's website said visitors are not allowed to smell, touch, taste, or any of the plants inside, and that people will still occasionally faint from inhaling toxic fumes
no.
while walking around. The boundaries are kept behind black iron gates that warns in all capital letters, these plants will kill you. Okay. They also bear 2 skull and crossbones with an extra caution, but guests only are allowed inside on guided tours, but yet still the curiosity remains.
Let them
My
just
God,
let them
man.
run free through it.
Don't
If
say
they
you
are-
haven't been warned.
Don't say you
That's
haven't
right.
been warned. And this is one of the rare cases where we get to double up on this. Okay.
Oh, interesting.
A man who has touched the world's most painful plant.
The same one or
So the first article that we just did,
the Gimpy?
this was for the week of July 4th, which, by the
Oh,
way,
okay.
we acknowledge that we were off. We weren't on because it happened to
Right.
fall on a Tuesday, all that kind of stuff. So they're like, don't touch these fucking plants. And this guy was like, I'm going to touch these fucking plants.
Idiot.
It's not that bad.
The Gimpy plant, which is the part of the nettle family, news broke earlier this week when the plant known in Australia as the stinging tree is now in the poison garden. So the plant's tiny hair like needles. We already talked about all that kind of stuff. Around the time the species was first documented in 1866, the horse died. We talked about all of that. Nevertheless, the plant isn't something you'd want to mess with. So naturally, a YouTuber decided to test it out.
Oh man.
And he wanted to see how it feels.
I'll do anything
see.
for more attention.
Gotta
Welcome to
monetize.
this
Gotta
world.
monetize that channel.
It's a YouTuber for you.
Whatever it
Shit,
takes.
like you can put the most awful, atrocious shit on the
Yeah.
internet into the
Oh, yeah.
public consciousness,
Yeah.
and there will be people out there
Yeah.
who see that as an invitation
Yeah.
to
There's
do
a
it
market for it.
for fucking attention.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Clicks and
crazy.
likes.
I like
and-
to get like a foot-long cigar and just light that and sit in front of my computer and just laugh.
I thought he was going somewhere else with it.
I
No,
just sit there and laugh. I just go, just watch
There's a
them.
market for
That's
it.
it. There is
Like an
It's-
old rich guy
everybody-
watching
that's
two
what-
poors fight to the death in a pit.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like Mortimer and Randall all over again, trading places. Absolutely.
Look at the look on his face.
There you go.
though.
Yeah, having a great old time. Well, so in a video, the backyard scientist, alongside one of his friends, touched the plant for half a second. They timed it, right?
Okay.
Before saying, "Oh, that feels like a bee sting," and now my skin is starting to feel tight. He then described the sensation as being like hand sanitizer in an open wound. Okay. In agony, the pair then tried various methods to ease the pain, right? Very much like hot ones. A diluted solution of hydraulic acid made it even worse.
Oh man, no.
Next, they tried
No.
water, which eventually made the pain worse as
Oh,
the pair
no.
started screaming intensely. They even tried cooling it, testing the arms with an infrared sensor to show that the stung arm was emitting intense heat. They claimed that it was a pain of 10 out of 10.
Oh
Okay.
man.
Wow,
Nothing.
go figure. The reports were right.
Yeah, right. Nothing would stop the pain. Overall, the pair rated the Gimpy sting as a 10 out of 10 on the pain scale, but said that the pain began to wear off days after, as long as you didn't get it wet or cold. So the exact opposite
Dry
of your
and warm,
instinct.
like bread.
Keep putting that bread on there. Fresh loaf. Wonder Bread's probably even better. It's full of all kinds of chemicals. Just get that right on there. Well, the aftermath of the sting lasted a whopping 2 months.
fucking hell.
No.
Like, also, why would you want to like put a bullet in your mouth?
Yeah.
When you could just put a,
Mhm.
prescription painkiller in there.
Yeah, exactly right.
I mean, you've already done one stupid thing. You might as well fucking follow it up with something else that can.
Well, what's the cure for it? Because with jellyfish things, you can piss on it.
Absolutely.
And is that a possible cure for
This
that?
is a good question, Juan. See, because I think it really.
I think we should pee on this.
I think we should let's find this guy pee on him, all of us.
Like
That's right.
Juan's
Yeah.
idea. But not because he did so, not because of the gimpy, just because
he's a
fucking
friggin'
stupid.
idiot.
That's right. Yeah, this is your fault.
A friggin'
You
idiot,
brought this on yourself.
What is that thing that what is that? It looks like
So
It's like
I don't-
rusty old pliers. or
It
some
does look
shit.
like rust. I don't know what exactly he's got in his hand there. I guess it's
I think he-
something.
he
I think
made
it's
it so he
something
could-
he's using to push the leaf like
Oh,
onto
okay.
his hand, whatever that thing is.
that.
But yeah, I saw. I saw a video somewhere that said, "Watch this to never get poison ivy again."
Mhm.
And I read the description just very briefly, and he was talking about blending up poison ivy leaves, which is an old like home remedy. Like
Hair of the
if you
dog.
do this to kids when they're really young, apparently, like if you
Put 'em in
blend
their
it up
food.
and you get them to drink it,
Oh.
they'll get real sick
Mhm.
and they'll never get poison ivy for the rest of their life.
Oh.
Right?
I must
Oh.
have done that because I never get
This
affected by it.
this isn't this
You
is
don't.
yours. Yours?
You don't?
Yeah,
Like
but
at all?
yeah.
Like you can pick it up with your bare
And you
hands
won't
and
get
you don't get
affected
it?
by it?
I've pulled it out of thinking it was weeds at my old job,
Mhm.
and it was poison ivy, and I never had a
We're
problem.
gonna,
Oh.
we're gonna test this.
But here's
out.
the thing. No, I don't want to touch that. Here's
He
the
said no.
Here's
Patreon
the
content.
reason I think. Yeah, I'll do it. Where's that gimpy at?
We'll do it on OnlyFans. Yeah.
I'll bathe in the gimpy.
Yes, level 2
Yeah,
tier.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. You can pay me to do weird things.
That's right.
Like one step down from OnlyFans. Here's what I've read is that if you handle one of like a poison plant, if
Mhm.
you wash your hands thoroughly afterwards,
Mhm.
it won't take effect on
Dish
you.
soap.
Like, it depends on a certain
Dish
amount of
soap.
time.
Yeah, because most poisonous plants transmit the problems through oil.
yeah, that's
And
it.
the
That's
dish soap pulls the oil to the surface,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And so you
Right.
can't just wash it. You have to use a consistent motion
Yeah.
away from your limbs to essentially
Okay.
get it off.
There's a
Okay.
You're like
possibility
scraping it off.
that
know
I
that.
just washed up really well
Yeah,
afterwards.
yeah.
So I
Mhm.
don't, I'm not sure whether it's a immunity. But go ahead though.
Yeah, I
Mm.
mean,
Mm.
what was I saying?
You're talking about like making.
Oh, the guy,
immunity
yeah,
for
yeah.
the
So,
children?
so the guy like went out into the woods and he had this dermatologist follow him around, like telling him like this is a really bad idea, and he's like, all right, and he took it to like,
Yay.
so he got all this
Mhm.
stuff, put it into a blender, right, and then dumped it all over his arm just to see what would happen.
Mhm.
Like it's fucking plutonium and it's the
Oh, man.
1940s or something like
Yeah.
that. Like we know what's going to happen. That's
Mhm.
not.
You don't need to see it empirically to
Right.
know
Yeah.
that it's true.
So
Right.
that
Mhm.
reminded me because
This
he
is
did
all-
the same
all
thing. He drew
these-
little circles around his arms from where he poured it.
You know,
Oh, yeah, I
this
see.
thing is taking a chance and
Yeah.
and such thing as being stupid. And there's
Exactly
no way.
right.
If there's a sign that says "Do not,"
There
That's
is a
right.
theme.
That's
in
I won't
this,
touch it.
Yeah, that's it.
I
That's
won't
it.
touch it.
This
Yeah.
week's weird news theme is fuck around and find
Find
out.
out.
That is
Yeah.
100% the theme of
Yeah.
every story.
It is.
Fuffle.
It is.
Fuck
We're-
around and find out.
And we're gonna keep it going because
Oh my
there's
god.
there's no no
he
more.
looks pissed.
He is very pissed because there's no more cell phone porn for these primates.
Mm.
So it's a bad day. It's a bad day at the zoo. The Toronto Zoo is asking visitors to help limit screen time for certain primates by refraining from showing cell phone videos to the facility's gorillas.
Okay.
These
They
have-
show videos
This
to
is
gorillas.
this
on
has
the-
been a very popular trend over the past maybe
Mm.
3-4 years.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Showing videos
Look at this magic
to
box.
primates or doing
Uh,
magic tricks for primates.
They just want to blow the minds of
They-
something that
and
kind
just
of can
because
understand.
their reaction is so over the top.
Mhm.
It's great.
Oh.
So
They're making them evolve too much.
yeah, well, basically,
Yeah.
this is essentially the gist of the whole article. Yeah,
Oh my god.
they're like, we want them to stay simple.
Right.
The zoo posted signs outside the gorilla enclosure asking visitors not to use their phones to show
Mm-mm.
videos or photos to the gorillas. Excuse me, as some content can be upsetting and affect their relationships and behavior with their family.
Mm.
Mm.
It's almost
You
like what cell phones are doing to us.
Yeah,
So
Wow, what a-
it's almost like we're not that far removed. So Holly Ross,
the next closest thing, species to humans.
yeah,
Mhm.
they're
So,
right there. They're our
like,
cousins.
yeah, pretty much.
These
Yeah.
are our
Yeah,
cousins.
we're pretty much 1 degree.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. We're closest to chimpanzees. I think bonobos are after that, and then gorillas are after that. If my memory
okay.
serves. So, but that's all very, very small divisions
Right.
between them. So it's,
Yep.
it's very close. Well, Holly Ross, behavioral husbandry supervisor at the zoo.
Mm.
I
It's a
just
mouthful.
watch them fuck. That's my job. I make sure everybody stays fucking. That's my job at the zoo. As I said, that keepers have not yet noticed any significant behavioral changes in the primates, but officials want to ensure the animals' lives remain as natural as possible within these giant gates, concrete enclosures, and carefully curated diets. Very natural. We want the gorillas to be able to be gorillas, said the supervisor. And when our guests come to the zoo, we want them to be able to see the gorillas as natural gorillas and what they would be doing naturally. We just want them to be happy.
What?
We want
It's Joe Biden's telling the story now.
That's all I want them to do. I just want you to stop showing the camera to everybody. Yeah, that's to sort of.
But isn't it so audacious for human beings to be like, oh, we don't want, this is unnatural, and
Right.
yet we are a part of nature
Yeah.
that's taking an effect
We're not natural.
on what's around us.
Exactly right.
It's like this is the course of nature. You know what I mean?
I tell you, I look at the world. I look around and I go, all of this stuff, everything, the people, the buildings, the road, everything used to be little tiny pieces of dust from a giant explosion that happened a long time ago. And here we are all tied up in our egos thinking that we're important and I can't die because I'm the special one. And it's just like, shut the fuck up and enjoy your life because you're going to disappear real quick because you're going to be gone for probably, if not longer, than the distance of time that you weren't here in the first place. Ride that wave, baby.
We're
it's
all
surfing time.
We're all just cogs in the wheel.
That's exactly
it.
right. And we got
That's
pizza. This is a good time to
And
be
we got
alive. There's
pizza.
pizza everywhere. Not always good pizza, but it's all about being natural, as they're saying here. So
There's videos of pizza you can watch.
Officials said gorilla named Nasser has been showing particular signs of interest in the videos on visitors' phones. It's like TikTok. Come on, TikTok.
You got any games on your phone? It's like a kid.
I got regular games. I got medieval games. I got So I love my phone. Officials. So Nassar was born in 2009 and apparently is fascinated by videos and screen time. That would eventually dominate his life if he had his way. It's almost like something is going on here. Yeah. A little bit of insight, maybe. We've had a lot of members and guests that actually will put their phones up to the glass and show him videos, according to Maria Frankie, the zoo's director of wildlife conservation. And Nasser is so into the videos, it was causing him to be distracted and not even interacting with the other gorillas. And so, being a gorilla, he was just enthralled with the gadgets and the phones and the videos
and the doodads
and the zip zops and the bibbidi bops and all these things. So Ross said Nasser and his fellow gorillas are already allowed to watch videos, including nature documentaries. It's like going to your grandma's house. Like, you can watch Animal Planet, but if you watch anything else, your mom's going to yell at me. Sort of thing. Under controlled circumstances, we want to make sure.
I call your mom on the jitterbug phone with the big buttons. I'm gonna call the police if you keep watching
Hold on.
this.
First, I have to call Robert Wagner to get my reverse mortgage. It's happening.
That's a whole nother ball of wax.
That's a whole other thing we're going to route. That's it. Well, we just want to make sure that we know the content. Very much like managing an account for a child or something. You want to make sure that your parental controls are on. And when you're in control of what the content is they're seeing, you know that everything
if you want it to be
okay.
If you want gorillas to be so fucking natural, why don't you get them out of a cage
Right.
and put them back where the
But you
fuck they came from?
Get them away from the
But you
screens.
also have to remember too that they're not human.
Yeah,
so you
right.
can't just they can't totally adapt So I mean, you know, it could drive him crazy. They say he
Yeah.
loves it, but he could spaz out one day.
Well, look at what happens to
you
us.
know,
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like
yeah.
the
It's
only
fucking
thing that's
him up.
missing is the metacognizance.
Yeah.
They're not thinking like, "Oh, this is
Right.
bad for me." They're like,
Right.
"I want more. It
I
feels
want-
good."
Yep.
Yeah.
You know? And that's also the operating function for most people on this
Yeah,
planet. But
sure.
you know, that's a whole nother story. But yeah, so you just keep that phone on airplane mode.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking
There
for.
you
Just
go.
keep it.
There you go.
Take the pictures if you need to take the pictures so that
Yep.
you can never show them to anybody and will
But
sit
he's
on
probably,
your cloud server.
like miming it, like, give me your phone.
yeah, come on.
He's like a
Mhm.
like a
TikTok.
child. you know?
TikTok,
Mhm.
come on.
TikTok. Where's the
TikTok.
TikTok?
He
at?
loved Vine. He was a big Vine fan. He loved the original Vine that
he
he
was-
swung from. Loving it on the phone after
Well,
that.
remember the incident some years ago where there was a like an open exhibit,
Yeah.
and the gorilla pulled the child in,
Yeah.
and dragged the child from
Yeah,
one end to the
yeah.
other.
Harambe.
Yeah,
Yep.
and
Hammurabi.
I would have totally panicked. I mean, you know, and he thought it was probably a gorilla, baby gorilla.
Right.
Patted on the head. But
Yeah.
that strength. He grabbed the child.
Well,
yanked
that's
the
it.
child, and he didn't hurt the child, thank goodness. But
Mhm.
yeah, that's that strength. They could tear your face off.
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
dude.
these silverback gorillas.
it can happen.
They
Yeah.
are so strong.
Oh my
Yeah.
God,
so
yeah.
so strong. Like
Yeah.
unimaginably
Their-
strong.
Yeah, their bodies are meant to destroy.
Destroy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh
like
my
the
God.
incident where the chimpanzee, I think, took the lady's face off.
Oh,
cut,
yeah,
took
piece
her
of cake.
hand in her face.
Yeah.
Piece of cake.
She survived a little while, then she died
Oh,
from
sure.
the injuries. But yeah,
Yeah, so that was in
No.
Hannibal, I think, right? It was
Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins. Yeah.
I think she probably would have preferred to get
You
stung
know
by
what?
that. fucking-
You know what? I just found out the other day
What?
that is, you know, who's behind that, don't you? Who's behind
it's,
that face?
yes, it is. It's the greatest actor of all time.
The greatest chameleon
Yeah,
of
Gary
all
Oldman.
Gary Oldman.
time,
Yeah,
Gary
you can't
Oldman.
even recognize him.
Yeah.
You
that-
can't even recognize
That
him. Yep.
man, he is
Yep.
the real life Where's Waldo.
He's my
Absolutely.
father.
I
He-
love-
he's been playing my father for years.
Yeah. Actually, no. This is Gary Oldman.
yeah, it's
Hello,
it's Gary
Lord.
Oldman. It's right
Hello.
here.
Ta-da! It's Gary Oldman, and then it's Chris, and then it's back to Juan.
I would love to meet him just because it's so confusing. It's just like, I don't know what's going on here.
He is though. He's like a chameleon.
He is
though.
amazing.
He is.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
is right
really,
there. There he is
what a
right
talent.
there.
There he is too. He's like, I'm just doing some research.
Actually,
Yeah,
around the mouth.
That's why he likes the videos.
Yeah.
I can see it in the eyes.
Yeah.
It's in the eyes. They always give him away.
That's him though.
That's
I
right.
mean, but he you know, he went from playing like Dracula to playing
Oh my
like
God.
in True Romance, the character in True Romance. He's
Yeah.
so versatile.
Yeah,
But I think he's
He's everything.
retiring.
Yeah,
I think
is he?
he's
I
yeah,
heard
think
he's
he's-
retiring.
No.
I
Yeah,
think he's retiring.
Maybe
yep.
that's all part of the act.
It's all ruse,
he's
Matt.
like, I'm tired of getting credits.
his greatest gig is a retired.
Yeah.
Maybe.
His greatest role,
Yep.
retired.
Yeah,
Awesome.
he's well. I'll tell you what else we're going to retire is this episode. We've
Oh,
we've done it. We've
man.
made it happen.
We
This has
When-
been pure joy.
it
That's right.
has.
Start to end.
has.
Start
We
to
added-
beginning.
we
to back
tacked
to
from
end
the
again.
start to the beginning. We tacked an
Yeah.
extra hour of
That's
Juan
right.
on just for you.
And that's-
because
People
when-
are gonna
need
be
it.
like, I'm not watching that. That's
Yeah.
2 hours
Nah,
plus.
they're going to
No.
get it because they didn't get an episode last week.
it's
Yeah,
We're
it's
making
like,
up
wait,
for it.
double
We're
hits.
making
2
up for
hours
it.
of
Yeah,
not just
we've-
Matt and
yeah.
Matt.
Right,
which
it's Matt,
makes it-
Matt, and Gary Oldman, and
Listen,
Juan,
everything.
and Chris,
It's a
and
mishmash.
everybody. That's right.
It's a mishmash.
It's
But-
everybody.
Yeah, but the second I got on 83 and headed up here, I was like, yeah, I can't wait to get up there with you guys.
going to be
And it's
Yeah.
easy to find. It's just straight up
Yeah,
83,
man.
you know.
That's
so.
right. Don't tell him.
Yeah.
Come gunning for us.
They're going to be coming. They're coming. They're coming. No,
Yeah,
no, no, no.
But
no.
this is
It's
been
good.
the best time.
Hell yeah,
You know,
man.
a hell of a birthday.
It's
Yeah,
What a
man.
way to spend, you know.
Get
Solid
on,
shit.
get on your devices,
That's
just
the
like the
best.
gorillas.
That's right.
And I want you to look up this episode, and
Yeah.
I want
That's
you
right.
to look up Juan's page.
That's
and
right.
Tell
Yes.
him happy birthday.
Find him.
Yes.
Find him
Yeah.
and
You
God.
tell
can
him.
find me on
Damn it.
look, IMDb, all your social media platforms.
That's right.
Not OnlyFans yet.
That's
Not
right,
yet.
Juan.
It hasn't
That's
gotten
it.
to that point
He's cooking.
yet.
He wants to get that archive
Get
built
your,
up.
get your
Yeah.
Because
audience
sometimes
built
you
up.
go on
Yeah.
vacation, you
Right.
don't feel like working. You
Right.
want to have those videos in the bank so that you can put them out there
then
when you
I
need
can
to.
hit the the
That's
OnlyFans.
what, and then you
That's
can
right.
travel for free.
Uh,
That's what it.
how
Yeah,
about
and you
that?
get other people
How
to buy
about
your
that?
wardrobe.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
yes, indeed.
I mean,
Yes,
it
indeed.
sounds like a good deal to me.
Hey, how about that's gravy?
This is great.
Great,
It's,
yeah.
it's all gravy.
That's a slice of cheese on
that-
top of the apple
That's
pie.
what we're talking. I just saw that Thailand has a nothing but cheeseburger, and it's
Oh.
all cheese, no meat.
What the hell?
I don't know why they did
Nothing
that,
but cheese.
I don't know. But we'll see you next time on another episode of the Kickstart with Matt.
And Matt
And won.
won.
Yes,
We won
amazing.
finally.
Oh
Yes,
man, talk about a
yes.
won in the bank.
Number one.
One in a million.
Number one. Yeah. Wow.
I love it. Number one.
Allison and Deidre, you still out there?
Allison's still here.
Yeah.
Dipped off,
Okay.
probably going to do
Deidre
more
says,
schoolwork.
I'm
Hey,
done.
Allison.
Oh, always working.
Yeah.
There
This
we
has
go.
been awesome. I
That's
have
great.
really enjoyed
Oh
this.
man,
I
Juan.
really have. You
Yeah,
guys are
good, man.
the
We're
best.
so glad to have you on.
That's it.
Yes.
That's
Yep.
it. Wouldn't
Yep.
wouldn't be right. Wouldn't be
Yeah.
right. We got to get you back.
Yeah.
And you know
Yes,
what?
indeed.
I'd really love to get you in for an orifice report.
Oh God.
I think.
Oh,
I
the
think
end of the
It's
year
at the end
one.
of the year.
yeah, end of the year.
Yeah.
Yep, that would be
Okay.
great. It doesn't have to
Okay.
be this year. You know, if we can't swing
Okay.
it, but I think that would
Okay.
be great to get you up there. for one.
Yeah, because it's hilarious.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that's
Every
and it's
time y'all do that office report, I just-
beautiful.
I always like
contract.
seeing
Yeah,
your
yeah.
commentary. Like Matt will
Yes.
read me the things you say, and I'm
Yes.
like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Speaking of, what's that thing that I said to look up that fish that looks like a penis or something? Oh, it's a
The
something.
gooey duck.
Is that what it's
The
called?
gooey duck. Yeah, that's like a
duck.
weird shell, and it looks.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
weird.
yeah.
Very phallic. Very
Crazy.
phallic. Yeah.
Weird. It's some
Very.
crazy
Yeah,
stuff.
gooey
very
duck.
phallic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Mhm. The orifice report.
Office
yeah.
report time, baby.
Hilarious.
That's it. Well,
Hilarious.
okay. Well, we got two now. Somebody else is back. I don't
Hey,
know.
welcome.
I don't know. We know Alice is here. I don't know who
Welcome.
else is
The
here.
show is
Is it
over.
Greg?
The show's over.
Is it Greg?
You're
It could
just
be
in time.
Greg.
It could be. Yeah, they tend to jump in late,
Mm.
but whoever
Yeah.
it is, thanks for joining us for the last few minutes. Hopefully, you'll go back and look at it. We love you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Hey. Adios.